heard one story you did there. So Metrolink is changing their system, and you said it makes it impossible for them to bypass it. What are the odds someone's already bypassed it?
Well, let's find out, because supposedly this is all rolling out this morning. So anybody who's using the Metrolink this morning would be dealing with this. So let's find out, because, they have invested quite a bit of money trying to make Metrolink safer. But unfortunately, there's this perception of it, too, where people like me are thinking, even if you're saying it's safer and you're doing all these things to implement more security measures, I don't know that I really feel like it's that much safer to the point where I'd want to ride it.
Yeah. What do you think the overlap in audience is between Metrolink riders and Marc Cox Morning Show listeners? And I'm not talking about just for Cardinal games. We're talking about in general, they need it for public transportation. I would say less than 0.5%.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I can't. I bet you if we asked people listening right now who've ridden Metro in the last year to call in, I don't know if you'd find a single person, or that single person may have used the Metro to get to the Cardinals game.
Yeah, it was only Cardinal game related. So when I hear anytime Metrolink say something like, it's foolproof, you can't beat it, you're not going to be able to bypass it, it's impossible to bypass. Like, I think you're underestimating the people that want to jump fares.
Challenge accepted.
Like, you are really underestimating it. Well, I guess it might be, better than the old system, which is no system in a lot of ways.
Yeah, they've made improvements.
Yeah, they've made improvements, which is good. I hope you had a great 4th of July weekend. My family and I barbecued, and I showed my son National Treasure on 4th of July because why not? There was between that and Independence Day, I thought National Treasure was the way to go. And he loved it.
Nice.
And I thought there's just enough history in there for him to start a conversation, a reference point. Oh, at that part of the movie where they talked about this, the Declaration, do you want to? And I watched it. My dad came over and we did it. And he said back in the day when he was younger, you used to be able to stick your finger in the crack of the Liberty Bell. He said there wasn't any division between you and the Liberty Bell. When you're a kid and you're going through it, you stick your finger in there. It's no big deal. It's like, oh, thanks, Dad. That's interesting.
Thank you for that little tidbit.
Yeah, you could stick your finger in the crack of the Liberty Bell? Never again. So every time I see the Liberty Bell now, I think, oh, my dad's finger was in there.
So and now I'll think that too. So I'm so glad you shared that, Ryan.
Did you have a great 4th of July?
It was great. I mean, the 2 nights in a row of the kids up till probably 11 o'clock at night, which was, rough, but it was so good. And this is just such a fun weekend to be a parent and to see their eyes lighting up when they're watching the fireworks. And it was so much time with family and friends. It was, it's one of those weekends where it's so good, but you almost want one more day, because we were with family yesterday. We actually read the Declaration of Independence. My dad printed it out, and we each had to go through and read a little section of it. And it was just one of those weekends where it was so good, but you just had one more day of like, okay, I need this day to just recover from just going, constantly moving around and doing stuff.
Wow, what a great idea to read the Declaration with your family. You read the Bible on Christmas or Easter, out loud to the family. And that's kind of tradition, but to read the Declaration of Independence on 4th of July is awesome.
We all had to go.
I have to say.
We had to go around and my dad would say, "All right, New York, is it yay?" And we'd have to all go like, "New York says yay," and go around the room. So yeah, that was our activity yesterday. We have part of it on video too, because But my little niece and nephew were reading it too, and there's some pretty big words in there because it's not language that we're accustomed to using in 2026.
Right. I don't know what your thoughts are on AI, but if we could run the Declaration through a Benjamin Franklin sound-alike voice and have him read it on the air, we should have done that. Maybe next year I'll try to remember.
That would be good. As
AI continues.
My sister sent me a link this morning, and it was showing what the Declaration would sound like if it were written today. It's very interesting to look at the contrast. Yeah, just in the language.
Was the 6-7 references, stupid things
that
like that?
That was at the very end, yeah.
All right, let's do the short list.
The Marc Cox Short List, presented by Rhino Shield.
As Interior Secretary, will you recommend to the president that he condemn this group and what they were trying to message, what they did try to message.
And this is part of free speech in America. They can say it, we can object to it, but it is something that comes with free speech in America.
Yeah, I guess there was a white nationalist march that was on July 4th. I didn't actually see the group. I don't even know if they confronted anyone. Honestly, it sounds like they kind of did their thing and left, is what it sounds like, at least. So when I hear moments like that in the news, I think, okay, was it a big deal? Are they trying to make it a big deal? Are they trying to associate Trump with it on purpose? And are they doing that as a strategy? I just feel like the media, in this case, is trying to make something out of nothing.
The ideals captured at our founding were unprecedented in 1776, and also they remain unfinished in 2026.
Yeah. As we look at a more perfect union, we're always trying to strive for that, and I think we're always going to miss the mark, unfortunately. But part of the understanding is that America's always going to try to make it.
This is a serious threat to our whole system of government. These are Marxist. It's communism, socialism. Those are deviations of Marxism. Begins with the opposite premise of America, and it is a serious threat to us.
Yeah, I have seen a lot of effort, not only from President Trump, but Mike Johnson and a lot of Republicans, to point out right now the line that was crossed with the Democratic Party when it comes to socialism and communism. And they are really making that effort to let people know, we recognize that your party is being taken over.
We are one family. You showed that tonight with one flag. And as our Declaration of Independence tells us, we are all made in the image of one Almighty God.
It's a good speech from President Trump on 4th of July. It really was. You know what else was great? Did you hear the military band just ripping up Sweet Child of Mine? It was so cool.
No.
I don't know if we have a minute here. I know that we're going to play the national anthem, but can we play just a second of Sweet Child of Mine if we could?
You
Ethan,
can play the
this
whole
is
thing
clip
if you
number
want.
7.
You got time.
Let's play some of it if we could, because I just wanted you to hear how good this is. It's so good. Imagine you're standing in front of Mount Rushmore and the military band just starts this classic guitar riff.
I don't know who that guy is playing, but he's killing it.
He is absolutely killing it. It sounds exactly like the original. And the whole band out there is just kind of like, all right, I guess we're doing this now.
Is this playing while they have that crazy light show going on Mount Rushmore?
Nighttime.
Oh, it was awesome.
Yeah, well, I don't know if the light show was on it, but it was at night, so the light show would have been going on, right?
Fireworks.
Yeah.
It was neat.
Oh. And then you have the... What do you think of the vocalist?
Once the vocalist started, it kind of lost a little of its
Did it?
pizzazz. The beginning was great.
Ethan's an old rock and roll guy, I believe. What do you think? So the Axl Rose kind of sounds like a lady.
Yeah, that actually sounds a lower register than what he sings it at, so
yeah, I
to
think
be
so.
honest.
So, okay, she's pretty good, but the musical side of it is really
the
what
music
makes
was really
it.
good.
All right, still, I would be enjoying myself if I was there. This would have been one of those moments I'd have been there with my family. And the kids would have been a little grumpy at this point because it's nighttime. You know, this is normally their bedtime, so they're acting up. But they're also on that thrill, that high of being up later than they're allowed to be, you know, out in public. And all of a sudden, Sweet Child of Mine riff starts playing from the military band. And I'm giving my wife the look like, and kids don't know it. They'll have no understanding of the significance of it. But it'll give me a second wind hearing that. And apparently, people kept tweeting online, they're Xing, whatever, that the band was like, it made everything. They said, forget about all these artists that dropped out. Just get that military band out there every time. We enjoyed it so much.
Yeah,
and
who
they really
cares
did kill it.
about those bands? I've even forgotten who was supposed to play who said they wouldn't.
Yeah. The military band did fantastic. And I don't necessarily think of the military band that way. I think about the marching band and what you would get normally during like a college football game, that type of music. But to hear them perform songs like that was pretty impressive. And I don't know if they had to learn it last minute because of all the people that dropped out, but that's not an easy song. If you don't know how to play Sweet Child of Mine, you're not just like picking up the guitar and magically playing it. It takes a lot of practice for that one. All right, well, when we come back, do you see The Atlantic republished one of J.D. Vance's essays from a decade ago? And it's anti-Trump essay. I want to talk about that. That's kind of interesting. And Erica Kirk is going to be in a courtroom this week. That's an interesting one, too. We're going to talk about those things. Anything you want to talk about, it's Monday morning on the Marc Cox Morning Show. Feel free to drop us a message inside the live feed. We are live on Facebook, YouTube, X, Rumble, and the Window World webcam. Simply the best for less. You're listening to 97.1 FM Talk.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Good morning to you. Hope you had a great 4th. The traffic looks great at this hour. We really don't have any issues. So if you are just headed out, of course, they had no road work yesterday, and things are in good shape. There will be road work today. And on Gravois, if you're a Route 30 driver, 7 a.m. until 3 p.m., they'll have an east and westbound lane closed between Valcourt and Baptist Church Road. And also 7 a.m. till 3 p.m., one lane closed from Rock Hill to Baptist Church. So, nothing too terrible, just a little heads up for you. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Here's a World Soccer Championship preview.
Brought to you by Lowe's. Members get more at Lowe's. And by the first ever Infiniti QX65. The last time Portugal and Spain faced each other for the World Championship was in 2018 in the group stage in a 3-3 draw. Many consider it the best game in tournament history. Now in a win-or-go-home scenario, we can expect a bit more from both sides in Arlington, Texas. Cristiano Ronaldo looks to add to his legacy on the world stage by taking Portugal to the quarterfinals. I'm Fernando Carlos.
If you're like me, spending time with friends and family around the holidays reminds you of maybe what retirement looks like someday, right? When you've got time to decide what you want to do on your time and your pace and all of that, but you got to plan for it. And that is where the Retirement Advisory Group comes in. Listen, I know Bob and Tammy Kershaw personally. I've known them for a couple of years now. They've worked with my friend Thomas Helbig at the Retirement Advisory Group, and in fact, they're family. It's a family-run business. The Retirement Advisory Group's been helping people for close to 40 years. And what they do is pretty simple. They help you protect your money, and they help you schedule your payments. In other words, a structured income plan that makes sure your money is in the mailbox at the beginning of the month. You know how much you're getting. You don't have to worry about market ups and downs because you are protected. I love that. Call them today, 314-993-9494. Tell them Mark sent you. It's retirementkey.com.
Today, the Cards, the Brewers. Siteman Cancer Center game time 6:45. Play ball. Siteman Cancer Center, national leader in cancer. If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com or call us toll-free at 888-367-6512.
You've been listening to the very popular Wellness One for many years, Saturdays and Sundays on 97.1 FM Talk. We're happy to share that we've expanded the show to 4 times a week. Yes, 4 times every weekend. Saturday at 10 a.m., Saturday at 8 p.m., Sunday at 9 a.m., and Sunday at 2 p.m. It's the same great show designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you a common sense, science-based strategy for a healthy life. So join TJ and Aaron for Wellness One. Now 4 times a week on 97.1 FM Talk.
The time now is 5:22, and this time check is brought to you by Paramount Men's Medical Center.
Marc Cox is St. Louis conservative.
And welcome back to the Marc Cox Morning Show. I'm Ryan Recker, filling in. Happy to be with you, as always. Always, always, always. And I wanted to talk about this essay The Atlantic decided to republish from J.D. Vance from 10 years ago. Kim, I don't know if you saw, but The Atlantic said, you know what, it's America's anniversary, and same is the anniversary of J.D. Vance, now our Vice President of the United States. Then J.D. Vance, venture capitalist? What would he have been? He would have been like just an investor or someone working for an investment company at that time, not into politics, wrote this essay that was published, and it was criticizing Donald Trump. So The Atlantic said, you know what better time than now to republish the essay from 10 years ago of J.D. Vance criticizing Donald Trump. Does that seem a little bit shady, maybe like, kind of cheap shot-ish for The Atlantic to republish that?
Maybe a little
considering
petty.
That it's a little petty. Maybe that's the right word. To think that J.D. Vance felt this way 10 years ago and the way he feels today, you're saying, you know what, we're going to go back and kind of memorialize J.D. Vance's thoughts and try to give the appearance that he either lacks integrity by changing his opinion or give the appearance that, at least at one time he was brave enough to say this, but now look at this tyrant that's in, this Hitler that's in the White House, and now J.D. Vance is, licking his boots or whatever those people say. All these buzzwords that the left says. When I saw that they were republishing this, I thought that was kind of a cheap thing to do, honestly, and it kind of lacks credibility to The Atlantic to think that they were going to try to pull this fast one, I think, on some of their viewers and listeners.
What's the end goal? Is it to create division, to make people question J.D. Vance, especially given the fact that he's likely to be the 2028 nominee, I would think? I can't imagine him not running. And I've talked about this, Ryan, but I couldn't stand Donald Trump. I voted for Hillary Clinton. I've been very clear about that. The first time he and Hillary were running together, I couldn't stand him. And I've lost friends over my views. So for anybody who might try to make the argument that it questioned J.D. Vance's integrity because he's switched parties and maybe this is all a lie and he's just pretending like he actually somehow supports conservatives and Trump, I feel like it would almost be the opposite, that he went against probably a lot of his former friends now and said, hey, actually, I'm starting to feel like the conservatives have a point here with some of their policies.
Yeah. I remember one time, and this would have been in maybe like 2010-ish, somewhere in there. Donald Trump said something. This is way before he got into politics. He said, smart people change their minds when they're basically given new information. Only dumb people never change their minds on
There you
anything.
go.
It was something along those lines.
Yeah.
And I posted that quote from Donald Trump on Facebook at the time, back when Facebook was a lot different. I said, what do you think about this? And I remember how much blowback there was for it. And I think about that every once in a while because a lot of times you have to look at new presenting information in order to change your view. If you don't ever change your view on anything, does that make you a dumb person? Not necessarily, but you should be reevaluating things.
Maybe prideful to a certain degree. If you refuse, you have new information and you're just so gung-ho on your stance that you refuse to acknowledge that maybe what you used to think is not so great anymore.
Yeah. When I read this whole thing in what J.D. Vance wrote 10 years ago and, what he believes now, and J.D. Vance obviously can speak for himself, and he's very good at it. This kind of reminds me of before you have kids and after you have kids. You ever hear people try to give you advice and they don't have kids? Oh, well, when I have kids, I'm never going to let them do this. Or, if they do this, and then when you have kids and your kids start to grow and then you mature as a parent, you're like, well, that's not how it works. Like this idealistic way that you had wrong before you had kids. And then what you learn as a parent, as your kids grow, and then you adapt and you change and you understand, things aren't exactly as it seems. Your parenting style changes, your love for the kids, you're working it for that. But before, you don't have any love because you don't have kids. You don't understand the same. And, as a parent with kids and someone tries to give me advice when they don't have kids and they still live with their parents, I'm like, okay, whatever. That's how I feel about this. Like, okay, there's the J.D. Vance then and there's the J.D. Vance now. This is the J.D. Vance pre-kids. This is the J.D. Vance mature adult parent that we're living with today. So you can go back and look at the things they said and you can say, okay, they have a better understanding now, and that's why they are the way they are now.
Yeah, I would love to know. I mean, are you thinking that this is going to make people really dislike J.D. Vance? And people who read The Atlantic, they probably already don't like J.D. Vance, right? I never read The Atlantic, so I couldn't even tell you who their main audience is.
Is it possible that this backfires if they're using this as a way for people to, hey, if you like J.D. Vance, you're going to really hate him now. Do you think this could backfire and maybe some of the type of people that read The Atlantic are reading this and they're like, you know what, that J.D. Vance isn't all that bad. Maybe I'll consider voting for him when he runs for president. Is it possible he may get some voters from this?
Maybe it makes him more relatable. It's okay to change your mind. Newsflash to everybody.
Yeah, that's right. All right, when we come back, Kim on a Whim. One of the segments I absolutely love. We're going to get to that, and it's nice to have you on this Monday morning, the Marc Cox Morning Show. I'm Ryan Recker, filling in 97.1 FM Talk.
License number GL250000615.
Hey, Dad, what causes drains to clog?
Grease, hair, soap scum, and tree roots.
Tree roots?
This town has old pipes and big trees. They find each other.
They grow inside pipes?
They bust into pipes.
Whoa.
Once they're in, the water stops flowing.
Can we fix it?
The big green grasser machine can fix any clog.
Green is always grasser at grasserhomeservices.com.
Hi, this is Steve Butts from Crawford Butts Insurance. As we reflect upon the 65th anniversary of Crawford Butts and we enter the heart of the summer season, I hope that you're able to take some quality family time and enjoy your family and friends, especially as we join together as Americans celebrating our 250th anniversary as a nation. So from all of us at Crawford Butts, a blessed summer and happy birthday, America. Contact me, Steve Butts, at 314-752-2500.
If you're a business or brand that's still paying for ads people skip or ignore, that's cute. Try a new method of advertising your customers can't mute. Join our mobile movement so you don't get left in our dust because stationary billboards are a bust. Big, bold, loud, and in-your-face advertising that doesn't wait for traffic. We drive through it, bringing your business or brand right to your customers' eyes. You can't delete it, you can't trash it or swipe right. Hell, you can't even ignore it. The answer? The moving billboards, baby. We circulate around any high-traffic venue, capturing people's attention when they're making decisions. Inside stadiums, big brands compete for attention, but outside the stadium, medium, we own the street media. Because in a world that's went mobile, your advertising should too. Try moving billboards. They really work. PinkTiger.ai.
I'm Stuart Varney, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Wall Street gets back to work today after the long July 4th holiday weekend. We'll find out how the service sector of the economy held up in June. S&P and ISM report their updates today. D.R. Barton, principal at Woodshall Financial Group, says he doesn't dismiss summer rallies.
There is some old Wall Street lore that the main traders are off the desk and taking vacation, and that the market liquidity is a little bit lighter, so it's easier to push everything up. That's market lore. I think the other thing is that it's a positive time. People are out spending money,
which he says boosts stocks. Also this week, we'll find out what was happening at the Fed's first meeting with Kevin Warsh as chair. Minutes from that meeting are released on Wednesday. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Coselda. Invested in you.
Most investments today feel like second jobs. Real estate, you're a landlord. Stocks, you're a day trader. Crypto, you're a full-time researcher. You've got a life to live. Your investment should help you live it. That's why more Americans are choosing gold. Noble Gold has helped thousands protect their future with real physical gold. Visit noblegoldinvestments.com to get your free wealth protection kit. That's noblegoldinvestments.com. Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
We look good if you are headed out for a drive to the office this morning or anything else. So far, so good. And it's quiet through North County. Looking good. Eastbound 70, 64, 40, 44. From out west into downtown, we're quiet on the Illinois side at this hour. So far, so good. This report brought to you by McKelvey Homes. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
McKelvey Homes is breaking ground on something new in O'Fallon, Strawberry Farms. When McKelvey builds something, they do it right. Visit McKelvey Homes to schedule a tour at Strawberry Farms in O'Fallon. Visit McKelveyHomes.com today and move up to McKelvey.
For 250 years, America has been more than a place. It's been a promise, a story of courage, hope, and dreams. And through it all, local TV and radio broadcasters have been there, telling the story of America, bringing truth to light. Broadcasters tell the story of who we are and who we aspire to be. We are America's storytellers. We are broadcasters. This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
If you're considering an annuity as part of your retirement plan, we need to talk. Hi, I'm Bob Stockdale, Senior Vice President Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Annuities can be a useful tool for some retirement investors, but not all annuities are created equal. Every week, we meet clients who own complex annuities that don't suit their needs and, in some cases, actively undermine their retirement plan. Before you purchase an annuity, get a second opinion from the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel. Requesting a consultation is free of charge. To request a free consultation, contact us at clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com, or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas & Company Incorporated, member NYSE and SIPC.
Hi, I'm Eric. And I'm Howard. We're the pain guys of Canner and Pintaluga. You already know after an accident to call 911 and then 411. 1-800-411-PAIN.
But you may not know behind the number is an experienced law firm with nearly 100 attorneys working hard for our clients.
Call the pain guys at 1-800-411-PAIN.
Law offices of Canner and Pintaluga, Kyle Conhauser, Esquire. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Offices throughout the U.S. Not all lawyers licensed in all jurisdictions.
Happy birthday, America, in 2026. Get used to hearing the word semi-quincentennial. America 250 on 97.1 FM Talk. Sponsored by Paramount Men's Medical Center. Kim on a whim.
Yeah, it is 2026. And if I asked you, Ryan, do you think that race relations are better off now than they were a handful of years ago? How would you answer that question?
Depends the year. How many years are we going back?
Ooh, yeah, I know. I would agree. I guess it depends on how many years we're going back. Let's just go back a little bit. Let's just go back 10 years.
Oh, no. No, I don't think so.
You think they're the same or you think they're worse?
I think they're worse. I think that they're purposely worse.
I would agree with you. I think that you have Obama who comes in and he's saying that, this is a time to heal, and he's kind of the guy who can do it. Yes, we can. And it had the opposite effect in many ways. And I voted for Obama. And, yep, I know. I'll just be honest here. That was the very first election I was able to vote in. And I think if anything, he in very many ways was pointing out, okay, there's a disparity here, and there's this that's happening here, and the black men are targeted and the whites are not. And it just very much created this division that I think he claimed he would try to help mend some of that and heal our country. And you have things like affirmative action. It was just, again, what intended to be something good ended up creating a lot of things that were bad. And you had that recent case where those Asian students were denied entry. Was it Harvard, I want to say? And they were successful in that lawsuit. All of them. And they were successful in that, as they should have been, because that, again, these systems that were put in place that may have done good or intended to do good have not really had the effect that maybe they intended to. And it's important to reevaluate them. We were talking in the last segment or the segment before that, like, it's okay to change your mind. It's okay to look at a system that was put in place and to say, you know what? Our heart was in the right place when we set this up, and it's just not doing what it's supposed to do. Like some of these, welfare systems that we have in place. But when going back to the whole race relations things, yeah, I would agree with that. And I was listening to this video by Victor Davis Hanson. He was talking about this, and I think he makes some good points. Listen.
What's happening now is there is a identifiable weariness, fatigue with all of this. It's not just from so-called white people. It's not from races. It's from the black middle class. And you can see the black middle class is getting very angry because they are more prone to encounter black youth, and they are the victims disproportionately of black crime compared to other minority groups. And there's conservatives in the black community who are now looking at what Tom Sowell, Shelby Steele, Glenn Lowry have warned us for years, and that is, during the worst moments of segregation, the black community had created paradigms of success. Nuclear families, fathers present in the household, strict discipline for the children, like all other communities. And that was sort of wiped out, or at least crippled, during the Great Society, where the government replaced the parents.
I mean, think about BLM. BLM has made it very clear that they want to tear apart the nuclear family. That was one of the main goals of the organization. And that's part of the problem. That's one of the reasons we're seeing so much violence.
Yeah. I find that here's what happened, particularly with Obama and on, when it comes to the Democratic Party, is that you have certain things that sound good on its surface, which is, okay, we need equality, which is something Martin Luther King would say.
Well, now they say equity, but you're right. It should be equality.
And Martin Luther King said, and the way that you accomplish that is through the Constitution. We are all protected the same, equally. And you have kind of fast forward to Barack Obama and a lot of, pretty far left type of politicians who kind of abandoned that and went a little bit further. And what you found is that, race, and particularly race then, but now it's more like, gender, politics is kind of mixed into it. It becomes their whole identity, and nothing will ever be equal to them unless they are pushed above equality. And what happens is that it takes over their whole personality, and it becomes cult-like. And because it's like that, you can't even reason with those people. And I find that we're at the point where even moderate Democrats look at this and saying, I understand what the Republicans were saying now. You can't reason with these people. We're not even going to try. But the left keeps trying to lean further into it because you see the socialistic tendencies that agree with this type of cult-like thinking go further into the Democrat Party and become their mainstream candidates. So I would say, yeah, from 10 years ago, we're actually worse than where we were. If you go back 20 years, I could say it's not as, maybe we're kind of like a little bit better, or 60 years.
I was going to say, I was thinking 60, which is funny you said that.
60,
you have to go back quite a bit farther.
Yeah.
It's also like the boy who cried wolf. Everybody wants to say everything is racism and I've even made this argument with conservatives who say that everything is anti-Semitism. There is anti-Semitism. There is racism, no doubt. I agree. There are people who need a serious heart check because they have some serious issues with discriminating against people. But it's very irritating and exhausting, as you heard Victor Davis Hanson point out, even for the black community, to hear everything be called racism. It gets old. Yeah. If everything is racism, then nothing is racism. How do we differentiate when we actually see racism if every single thing that happens, they just say, well, that's racist?
Yep.
It's like the go-to thing. If you hear someone who's, in this case, liberal, mad at a conservative, they just throw out those words like, you're a bigot, you're sexist, you're this, you're that. And it's again, I just think of the boy who cries wolf, where it's getting really old and no one believes them anymore when they say that because they say it for everything.
Yeah.
And you're right, Ryan. They want equal outcome. They want equity. They don't want equality, which is equal opportunity. They feel like they have been wronged, and there have been wrong, issues in our American history. We don't have to pretend like that wasn't part of it. But that doesn't mean that we need to make sure that they constantly have, a leg up over every single person. And that's what a lot of these people want.
Mm-hmm. When you talked about the admission scandals that a lot of these major universities got caught in when it came to discriminating against Asians and things. And it's so funny because I think a lot of times people on the left believe you can't discriminate against an Asian, or you can't discriminate someone that's white, or you can't discriminate against someone that's Jewish, right? Discrimination is kind of a monopoly that only black people have, and it's their plight. Anything else that you would recognize discrimination in any other race or situation, then you in fact are a racist for noticing that sort of thing. And they monopolize it in a way, this type of the arbiter of what is racist, what is not. And they've gone so far off the deep end that I don't think they realize they're doing themselves a disservice. But I think that most rational and just people are tired of it. I think when you look at the polling, you realize people are tired of it. And I think that maybe they're slow to pick up on this in the mainstream media because they keep highlighting it as if it's like the number one issue in our country. But ultimately speaking, I think we find that they're trying to push it because they have some sort of agenda to push it, and it gives them something that they can use on a political point or whatever it may be.
Well, it makes them a victim, and everyone wants to help the victim, right? And that's this whole Marxist idea where you don't just have people who are equal, you have the victim, you have the oppressed and the oppressor, right? You always have to have kind of the victim, and people, particularly on the left, love to use that because then they say, yeah, you people, you've been oppressing us. It's time for change. I mean, that's what a lot of these democratic socialists want to play off of. And it's sadly been very successful. Look what's played out in Denver, New York City. I mean, we have democratic socialists who are taking over in America in 2026. Now, you brought up polling, and I did see something from YouGov. This was earlier this year in February, but according to this poll, it said 41% of Americans say racism is a big problem in our society today. 31% rather say somewhat of a problem. 19% say it's only a small problem. 10% say it's not a problem.
Can I tell you a couple of words whenever I hear them? I instantly check out of the conversation and I don't listen to the person anymore. You might have some words as soon as you hear a certain buzzword, you're like, okay, this person does, I don't have to listen to them. Some of those words to me, if they bring up Hitler in a non-historical context, if I hear the word patriarchy, I'm out. I don't have to listen to you. If I hear the term "do better," sorry, I don't have to listen to you anymore. There's certain leftist buzzwords that they throw in because they think it makes them sound more credible or gives them more authority. But stuff like that, do you know what I'm talking about? Those type of words.
Oh, the word for me is disenfranchised. If I could never have to hear the dang word disenfranchised again, I'm so tired of that. Every single thing that goes wrong, they're like, I'm disenfranchised. Oh, are you? Really? Tell me how. It's funny when you hear, I remember Charlie Kirk used to do this when he would go on college campuses and they would say, oh, you're racist, and people would just go and scream at him. And he'd always say, let's just have a conversation. We don't agree. That's fine. Let's talk it out. That's why I'm here. And he would say, give me one example of what I've said that's racist. Crickets. Couldn't do it. That's seriously, people who make these accusations, if you actually try to nail them down on what specifically is it that's racist about what this person said, they don't really have a good answer. It's a lot of talk, and it's not much to back it up.
Yeah, it's because I think that you use it as an attack word because you want it to be true, even if you know it's not true.
Mm-hmm.
So how many times have you... I find that if someone joins a group and they instantly are like using those buzzwords, I'm like, I hope the rest of the people in the group are like, do you understand this person's not part of the group, right?
Yeah.
Like, we're not going to have a good time. No one here is going to have a good time because this person's going to be a bummer the whole time. It doesn't matter. Your whole group could be as diverse as they get, as diverse as a Netflix wants it to be. And you can all joke around at each other's expense and have fun and laugh, and it doesn't mean anything because you're just having a good time. And then the one blue-haired person comes in and is offended by stuff, and you're like,
they're
all
disenfranchised.
Right.
Yep.
You're going to disenfranchise the blue-haired guy. Okay. I like that. But, I find that, you could joke around and it doesn't matter what race or whatever it is. You can joke around about certain things and they are not offended by it. And, there used to be a time where people just didn't get offended so easily, but now we have to get offended on other people's behalf.
Mm-hmm.
Even if the things they're saying aren't really that offensive.
Everyone's offended.
Everyone's offended. Maybe that's what it got down to. We're just overly sensitive. That could be a part of in the mix there. We're going to disenfranchise the blue-haired people. That's hilarious. All right, you're listening to the Marc Cox Morning Show, 97.1 FM Talk.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Looking good on the roads this morning. If you're headed out early, we are in great shape. Northbound 55 looks great through construction zones. No problems on northbound 270. We look good on 270 westbound through North County. Still quiet eastbound 70, 6440. And on the Illinois side, we look good as well. On the bridges and on the Illinois side in general. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
This is Jimmy Fallon from Fox Across America. One reason you should support America 250 is our country's now the same age as Nancy Pelosi. Happy birthday, America 250, you fine thing you.
America 250 is sponsored by Paramount Men's Medical Center.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's Best Eggs. They're just so delicious with better nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs. Looking for a smarter, safer way to invest? For a limited time, lock in a great rate with Together Credit Union's 11-month CD special. From day one, your return on investment is guaranteed. No market swings, no surprises. Just a competitive, fixed rate that steadily grows your deposit. Make your money work harder with a financial partner that puts you first. Visit a Together Credit Union branch near you or go online to togethercu.org to learn more. Together Credit Union, federally insured by NCUA.
You know Zero Res, the zero residue carpet cleaner that leaves your carpets truly clean with no dirt attracting soaps or harsh chemicals. Don't risk it with the other guys and skip the DIY disasters that leave your carpet soaked for days. This month, get 3 rooms of carpet Zero Resified starting at just $129. Call 314-474-2020 or visit ZeroResSTL.com and ask for the 97.1 special.
See website for details. BillsHappen.com is not a lender. It does not make credit decisions. Must be 18 years old. Not available in all states.
Honey, everything is so expensive, and our bills are piling up.
You're telling me credit cards are maxed out, rent is due, and the car payment's right around the corner? We need some extra cash.
We should do what my friend from work did. She went to BillsHappen.com and got the money she needed the next day.
Our credit is not great. Are you sure that would work for us?
BillsHappen.com is one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with all credit types get up to $5,000.
Sounds like it's going to be a hassle.
My friend said it was super easy. She did it right from her phone during her lunch break.
If you have a regular source of income, you can be approved for a loan for up to $5,000, and your cash can hit your bank account the next day. BillsHappen.com's lenders have millions of dollars to lend, regardless of your credit history.
Guess what? I went to BillsHappen.com, and we're getting our money tomorrow.
Wow, that's fast. Problem solved.
If you need extra cash, go to BillsHappen.com. That's BillsHappen.com. BillsHappen.com.
Marc Cox is St. Louis conservative.
Welcome back to the Marc Cox Morning Show. I'm Ryan Riker, filling in for Marc Cox. And I saw that Erica Kirk is going to be in a courtroom this week, and she is going to be part of the spectating side when it comes to the trial of Tyler Robinson. And I hate to even think about the scenario that she is in right now, but would you want to be in that courtroom during a trial, Kim? If something like that happened to you? Your husband is hurt, or
I think I would have to be. It's one of those things where you don't want to hear all those grim details, but you can't not. I'd want to face the person too who's accused of killing my husband, because I know there's a lot of speculation, predominantly from Candace Owens, that Tyler Robinson is not the guy.
Yeah. He's the guy. It's stupid to say he's not the guy, I think.
I don't agree with what she's saying.
Yeah, I don't agree with Candace Owens, but I think that those videos of like fathers during the Larry Nassar trial where he abused all these gymnasts at Michigan State University, and the one guy's like, just give me 5 minutes alone with him, and he hops the table like he's going to attack him on the stand. I feel like that would be a hard instinct to overcome in a trial like that you would want to get your hands on this guy and you just want 10 minutes alone with him. And that's the type of feeling I think I don't know if I'd be able to contain. It would be so hard. And you don't want to see me crying for hours on end, just the whole time crying in the back. I don't know if I could handle it, honestly.
Well,
and
she already publicly forgave him. And that to me was so impactful when she did that at Charlie's service. I had a feeling she would, but when you actually hear her utter those words, people don't understand forgiveness. I remember, and I've talked about this, when I used to cover a lot of murder trials when I worked in TV, and people, not often, but you would have those scenarios where people would get up there on the witness stand and the family would say, I forgive you. And I remember before I became a Christian, I did not understand them. Like, how can you possibly want to forgive that person? But I realized it's really not about that person. It's about yourself. It's about releasing all of that from you, that weight that person has on you. And, you can say the words, I forgive you, knowing that your heart might have to catch up a little bit. You don't have to be completely settled in your heart to say those words, because there's no way that Erica Kirk would be able to say to Tyler Robinson, I forgive you, and completely feel 100% okay in her heart about what has just happened to her husband, the father of her children.
Let me ask this. Do you think it's a guy versus girl difference? Because have you ever watched a John Wick movie and said right on?
I don't think I've ever watched a John Wick movie. Ethan's going to make fun of me. I know. I get made fun of all the time for the lack of movies I've seen.
All right. I need Ethan's help on this. Do you think there might be a difference between men and women in scenarios like this? Because, I am a Christian as well, and one of the things I pray is that I'll never be put in this scenario, because I don't know if I'm strong enough to forgive that person. I really don't know if I'm strong enough. So sometimes I look at it and say, maybe it's just because the vengeful spirit in me, when I hear about these scenarios, I just don't. Even though I know the Lord's commanding you to do it, it's such a hard thing to accept, honestly. I don't know if it's just because I'm a guy I feel that way.
Ethan, what's your take on that?
I don't know. I've been thinking, though, Brian, I would want to be in the courtroom, just the fact that I would want the jury to see how upset I am, because that way they could see the devastation that person caused. And so maybe it wouldn't influence them in their decision, guilty or not guilty, but in sentencing, seeing, you over there weeping for 3 hours a day, every day, they would be like, all right, maybe death penalty instead of life in prison.
Yeah, death penalty is on the table.
Well, and making the person who's on trial, forcing them to have to look at you every single time. I would want that too.
Yeah,
you don't want to
think
be
it does
a
anything
distraction.
to him though. If you've already murdered somebody, seeing somebody stare at you.
Yeah, but don't
They're
you wonder?
sociopaths.
I mean, obviously, a lot of people have mental illness or were on drugs when they did it. Not always, but don't you kind of wonder though if that's just a front and that actually it does bother them, but because they're playing the tough guy role, that they're not going to let on that it bothers them? How can you possibly, as a human, have to face the spouse of somebody you just allegedly murdered and not have some feeling about it?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess
by
if
the way,
you're
this
really demented in the head.
This Candace Owens stuff in the Tyler or what's the Tucker Carlson stuff, man, this is getting out of control. This has just spiraled out of control, these two. I don't know if you follow them as creators, but was it Tucker Carlson said he wants to create his own political party? He's kind of went off a little bit of a tangent lately. Candace Owens has been on a tangent herself in a way, spiraling out of control. And what do they? So the main thought is because someone came out and said the bullets can't be identified. Well, here's the thing: the bullet was destroyed, so it didn't say it wasn't the bullet from there. It just basically said it was. The evidence was destroyed after it was fired and struck. So I find this whole Candace Owens stuff in such bad taste, especially if you called him a friend or not. It still doesn't matter. It's such a weird thing that they're dying on this hill. It's a weird thing. So Tyler Robinson is going to be in court. I think we'll be able to see it. I think they agreed it's going to be streaming, so I guess we'll see part of the reaction there too. 97.1 FM Talk.
When legacy automation starts impacting visibility and downtime, it may be time to consider modernization. Graybar's automation specialists work alongside your team to help you identify risks and map out realistic upgrade paths without unnecessary disruptions. Get started with a free health check of your operations and see what's possible. Yep, Graybar does that.
Corey, from Air Comfort Service? Why are you standing next to my AC?
I'm standing behind our work.
But it's 8 p.m. You're just going to stand behind my air conditioner?
Yeah, pretty much.
Could you turn off the sprinkler then?
Absolutely. At Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation, we take pride in our work. If you need a new air conditioner or HVAC system, you can trust we'll install the equipment correctly. Plus, for a limited time, qualify for rebates up to $2,600 and 0% financing for up to 72 months. For a free estimate, visit aircomfortservice.com.
Every child deserves a childhood. Make-A-Wish creates life-changing wishes for children with critical illnesses. A wish sparks a ripple of hope that transforms communities far and wide. When we grant wishes together, we create a movement of kindness, strength, and unity. Join us today at wish.org and be part of a journey that truly changes lives.
When it comes to planning your retirement, there's a lot to think about. Portfolio management, tax planning, and retirement income just to get started. Steve All and his team at the All Financial Group focus on those things and more. Their goal is to help you achieve your goals. Call 636-230-8824 or online, yourmoneymattersstl.com.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IBW, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Steve All, NPN number 153-07419.
According to MasterCard, nearly half of small businesses have been a victim of a cyber attack. As cybercrime escalates, ThrottleNet is calling on businesses to strengthen their security posture by taking a free online IT security audit right from your desk. This 3-minute online assessment provides an immediate score to see security gaps and vulnerabilities in your network. For 26 years, ThrottleNet has supported your business IT everything right here in St. Louis. In fact, no client of ThrottleNet has ever paid a ransom. So visit throttlenet.com/971 to take the free assessment today.
I'm Dr. Nick Barnes at Health From Within Family Chiropractic in Rock Hill. At Health From Within, our mission is to transform the way you manage your health by bringing you the truth about health and healing. We use proven techniques to remove interference in the nervous system and maximize health naturally, without drugs or surgery. Connect with me at healthfromwithinstl.com And join me for Maximize Living on this station every Sunday at 8 a.m. or download the Maximize Living podcast, Health from Within, STL.com.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-777-7777.
That's 314-777-7777.
Team USA versus Belgium at the World Cup. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News, and there's controversy ahead of the match 13 hours from now in Seattle. Leading American scorer Flo Balogun has his one-game suspension for stepping on an opponent's ankle reversed after a phone call from President Trump. Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House.
A source confirms to Fox that President Trump called FIFA President Gianni Infantino, asking him to review the red card suspension of American forward Flo Balogun. That red card against Bosnia and Herzegovina makes Balogun ineligible to play against Belgium. But FIFA announced the American star is eligible, suspending the one-game ban into a one-year probationary period. President Trump praised the decision on social media, writing, "Thank you, FIFA, for doing what was right and reversing a great injustice."
And the Athletic website reports that Belgians are being granted the right to appeal the reversal, and both teams have the next hour to submit their case as to why Balogun should or shouldn't be allowed to play. Charlie Kirk's widow and accused killer are scheduled to be in the same room today for the start of a 5-day hearing about evidence.
Ahead of today's preliminary hearing in Utah County for Tyler Robinson, Erica Kirk and media outlets argued for cameras to be allowed in the courtroom, and Judge Tony Graff is allowing video of the proceedings. Prosecutors have said they plan to introduce forensic and video evidence, witness statements, autopsy findings, and alleged messages Robinson wrote his romantic partner. Kirk was killed last September at Utah Valley University. Jessica Rosenthal, Fox News.
Police in New York City are looking to identify and catch a suspect in a shooting at a 4th of July cookout at an apartment building courtyard near the Coney Island Boardwalk in Brooklyn Saturday night.
At least 8 people, including 4 children, were shot. A 21-year-old is in critical condition. The youngest victims are 6, 7, 12, and 14 years old. They are expected to survive. Police are investigating whether the shooting was gang retaliation.
Fox's Marianne Rafferty. Mourners have flooded into Iran's capital, Tehran, for the funeral procession for the late Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. America's listening to Fox News.
I move mountains for a living. Literally. That means I don't carry hand lotion, and when it comes to serious heartburn, I don't mess around with anything but Rolaids Max Strength. Its dual-active formula has 1,500 milligrams of calcium carbonate and magnesium hydroxide that relieves heartburn fast. And the best part? The roll fits right here in my pocket, so I can get back to moving mountains.
Rolaids spells powerful relief. 1,500 milligrams is our highest amount of antacid per tablet. Read each label. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-889-5566. That's 800-889-5566.
Good morning. Hope you had a great holiday weekend. I'm Kim St. for 97.1 FM Talk. It is 6:03 and 73 degrees. 41 juveniles taken into custody over the weekend in downtown St. Louis for violating the curfew. 2 of them, a 14 and 15-year-old, had to be driven home by police because the parents were apparently unable to get him. The parents in that case were ticketed. Now, the vast majority of these juveniles who were taken into custody don't live in the city. That curfew, by the way, will continue through September 8th. The city of Kirkwood is accused of lying about firing 2 top city employees and then secretly paying them to leave. Mark Petty, the longtime director of Kirkwood Electric, is blamed for massive overspending within the department last year. Russell Hawes, the former city administrator, was also fired, according to the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. Now, Kirkwood officials claim they retired while giving them severance payments totaling more than $300,000. All right, heads up. Big changes are now in place at the Metrolink. Starting today, Metro will turn on its new fare system, ticketing machines, and security gates at 13 different stations. The goal, they say, is to modernize the fare system and also make riding the Metro safer. Metrolink officials say this new system will make it physically impossible for someone to enter a Metrolink station without scanning a ticket. In sports, Cardinals went 2-1 against the Cubs over the weekend, losing yesterday 6-4. Cards now host the Brewers tonight. 6:45 is first pitch. That, by the way, Norway kicks off a 5-game series. And did you hear the stunning reversal from FIFA? Team USA's top goal scorer will be able to play in tonight's game against Belgium after getting a red card in the match against Bosnia. Kickoff for tonight's game is 7 o'clock. 73 degrees now coming up on 6:05. I'm Kim St. for 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Good morning. I'll tell you what, we've got light volume out there this morning. Looking good on the roads, and that's throughout the area. Crews have just cleared some debris from the westbound 70 ramp to Lindbergh, so that looks good. And we've got light traffic eastbound 70, 64, 40, and 44 from out west into downtown. We are quiet on the Illinois side as well. This report brought to you by Lakeside Renovation and Design. For over 25 years, they have been St. Louis's trusted choice for transforming homes, and this is inside and out. They do everything from siding to kitchens and baths, and they give you quality craftsmanship backed by lifetime warranties. Visit lakesiderd.com to start your dream project today. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
After some rock and roll weather over the weekend, we've got the northwest flow coming back for us on this Monday. Partly sunny skies. It's a little less humid, and it is cooler. 87 for the high. Then tonight, partly cloudy skies. 68 degrees. Tuesday, sunny and 89. Wednesday, sunny and 82. That's a nice little break. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
6 minutes after the hour now. Thanks for joining us. 73 degrees if you're just leaving the house. You can listen to the Marc Cox Morning Show from anywhere, any time of the day. All you have to do is download our free Odyssey app.
The Marc Cox Morning Show is brought to you by Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group, retirementkey.com.
This is the Marc Cox Morning Show.
We just become best friends. Yep.
Welcome back to the Marc Cox Morning Show. That was a nice little addition there. Not my favorite drop, Ethan. You know my favorite drop.
Oh,
Do you have that?
please.
Oh, please.
I think that Ethan likes when you fill in because he gets to use all his fun drops
I do.
with you.
I could just. My goal is to make Ryan laugh every morning. I'm like, what can I play to make Ryan laugh?
Ow, please. I plan on using that at some point today, and no one's gonna know. No one's gonna know.
You know, even
well, if you're listening,
when you filled in for Annie Fry, I think it was, I was texting Brad playing it, going, "Play, oh please!" He will start cracking up. Like, just play that drop.
That's all I need. Anyone here listening, if you could sneak that into your day, would that be great? And report back tomorrow that you did the oh please and tell us how people reacted. So, some breaking news on the FIFA front. Apparently, Belgium is making a move now. So, to catch people up, you had a U.S. soccer player that was red carded during their last win in the round of 32. USA wins. They go on to the round of 16, and the star soccer player, since they got the red card, was ineligible to play Monday night's game, the game that's going to be airing tonight in Seattle in the round of 16 against Belgium. So now, over the weekend, apparently Donald Trump picked up the phone and said, hey, we need to look at this red card. And wouldn't you know it, FIFA said, you're right, maybe they shouldn't have called that to begin with. So we're going to lift the suspension for your star player and allow him to play Monday night. That's a good thing. Well, here's the breaking news. Belgium makes a move after World Cup star's red card suspension was lifted. So Belgium is now appealing to FIFA, saying, don't let him play. You made the wrong call, FIFA.
Well, of course they don't want him to play because he's our top, scorer. There's no way that FIFA's going to listen to Belgium's appeal. That he's playing. By the way, his name, I was practicing that before we went on the air, and I knew it. Once a word is incorrect in my brain, I have a very hard time going back to the correct version. I don't know if you've dealt with that, Ryan.
100 times, yeah.
Oh, my gosh. I was like, I'm just going to axe it out of the entire headlines when I do it because Lord knows I will not be able to say it correctly.
Is it Balogun?
Flo, as they call him. Flo, like what's her face from the commercials? Who am I thinking of? The annoying lady.
From Progressive.
She drives me bonkers. But Flo, everyone knows Flo. All right, this is the male Flo. less annoying. And still, we'll butcher his name, I'm sure, even though we've just said it correctly.
Yeah. Flo is going to play tonight, and apparently they put that request in for FIFA's governing body. Hey, we think you got it wrong again.
But it wasn't. Was it really intentional? Because everything I've heard, that red card is reserved when there's intentionality behind it. He was clearly trying to do it. And if you could make any sort of an argument, which I would, that wasn't intentional, that's just part of playing, those things can happen, then he didn't deserve the red card in the first place.
Yep.
And that was the argument, I believe.
And this is not unique to the United States. There's been a lot of times FIFA stepped in and said, well, we're going to suspend this red card after the fact, even though the rules say once you get the red card, you're out. But FIFA can come in and review it and, as a governing body, make a different decision. And they've done that many times. Like it's happened, and it's not unique in that sense. So it's not like Donald Trump makes it sound like he picked up the phone and probably influenced them, and that could very well be true, but it's not like it's like the only time it's ever happened, so you can directly link it to Donald Trump. There's a pretty good chance this was going to get overturned anyway, because it was not. All the commentators and all the experts that looked at this said it probably shouldn't have been called a red card to begin with. So if it's that weak of a call, then you don't suspend a guy over that, or especially during the World Cup when your team is advanced. But did you see that the U.S. match against Bosnia on Wednesday night was the most watched soccer telecast in English language history? According to Fox Sports, peak audience was 31.8 million.
Wow.
That's pretty impressive.
I'm not a soccer fan, but I have actually I've just started watching some of these matches, and they have been fun to watch. I have my gripes about soccer, and I still have my gripes about soccer, but it has been, like last night I was watching the Mexico-England match, and I went to bed at halftime, so I missed the end, and England did win. But, man, I mean, it's fun, even though it's low scoring. What I do like about this, at least with the World Cup, they can't tie. That drives me nuts, that they can just tie 0-0 in a normal game. And somehow one of the teams still gets points.
Tonight, you have the soccer team going up against Belgium, round of 16. It's in Seattle, 7 o'clock Central Times.
Yep.
They don't call it a kickoff. What do they call it?
No, I think they do. I've always called it kickoff.
Is it a kickoff?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Unless I've been saying it wrong this whole time.
Winner faces the matchup between Portugal and Spain. That's tomorrow night's matchup. So whoever wins tonight will play the winner. I'm trying to think of how they say it there. Portugal in Spain. They say it differently over there. All right, let's do the short list.
The Marc Cox Short List, presented by Rhino Shield.
For me, as a Democrat, I'm insanely proud to be American. And, America has always been the good guy on the world stage.
Let's look at the Democrat Party and who they back more frequently. That's John Fetterman. Says, as a Democrat, I'm insanely proud to be an American. Or let's go for the guy with the Nazi tattoo and you go all in on him. Who is the Democrat Party rooting for? And mostly it's the Nazi tattoo guy. That's the sad thing.
Ronald Reagan used to warn about communism. He talked about it, that it was a distant threat across the world. And now the barbarians are inside the gate.
That's talking about the Democratic Party right now. The barbarians are inside the gate, and that's the warning. And I think a lot of times you can look at it after the fact and say, hey, Republicans, why are you giving them free advice that they're eating themselves from within? I think, in a way, Republicans don't want this to happen either, because the worst-case doomsday scenario, Democrats win with this socialist platform, and then all bets are off.
By the grace of God, the United States of America is the most successful, most accomplished, most exceptional nation ever to exist in human history. And it is great to be your president.
I love that. Isn't it nice where in previous years you had the Joe Bidens and the Barack Obamas, they apologized being Americans? I hated it when they would get behind a podium and they'd have to be apologetic with their tail between their legs. Well, I know I'm American, but we got all these faults. So stupid. I want someone proud to be an American, and that's what Donald Trump is.
So what I'd ask you to do, my fellow Americans, on our 250th birthday, is to reject the two-dimensional view of your fellow citizens. Reject the view of your nation that sees only its sins, but not its grace and its greatness.
The grace and greatness. That's what it's all about. Love it. Well done, J.D. Vance. He had a great speech there, too. Yeah, I have to apologize for America garbage. Tell me that doesn't drive you crazy, Kim.
It's like apologizing for your whiteness. You know, like, do you wake up every day and feel a little guilty about being white? Every morning I apologize for my whiteness, you know, because I know I'm an oppressor.
Do you know when Marc Cox goes out into public, he has to apologize for Ethan all the time? I'm sorry for Ethan. It just happens.
Probably a true story.
I know. It's Ethan. I know. I'm sorry. No, of course he doesn't do that. That would be stupid. That's what presidents are doing.
Yeah.
Before Donald Trump. And part of which, when it comes to, maybe that's not the best analogy, but when it comes to Donald Trump just being unapologetic and loving our country under God and saying we're the most accomplished nation in human history. That's what I'm talking about.
And how can you
That's
argue
what I want
with
from
that?
the leader.
You can love your country if you live somewhere else over in Europe or Asia, but how can you argue that what America has done is not absolutely phenomenal? What we have in place with our Constitution sets us apart from every other country. And man, I mean, the freedom that we have in our country, we can't take that for granted. People have quite literally died for it, and people now just go on saying our country's terrible and that all the things that were maybe not so great that happened in our history, which there are things, that should somehow overshadow all the incredible things that our country has done and has provided those people. The things that they want to say online, and I hate this, I hate America, I hate Trump, I want to kill him, that would get you arrested very quickly if you were in a different country. Like, you go over to England or some of these other countries, they do not mess around with that. You don't have the same freedom of speech that we have here in the United States.
Yeah, even Canada. I mean, you could just cross the border and have the same sort of problems. You'll get investigated or someone shows up to your house if you make a joke. Even in the context of a comedy club, it's ridiculous. So you have Donald Trump, and you know what? Sometimes you have to go back, and even if you hate the guy, I think that on a 4th of July speech, him being proud of our country, contrast that with some of the Democrats that had their own, like Mamdani, who he had George Washington's desk backwards. What a weird, stupid video he put out. So he's trying to give his own little 4th of July speech. He sits on the wrong side of the desk. And he has all these people standing by him that look like they were held captive, kind of like an ISIS video in a way, like where they have all the prisoners standing around. The only thing that's missing are bags over their heads. So you have the Mamdani, it's not even apologizing, just trash talking. And then you have Donald Trump, proud to be an American. You pick the two. On the 4th of July, the message that you're giving, even if you hate Donald Trump, you better look at that and say, you know what? Maybe he's got something here. All right, you're listening to the Marc Cox Morning Show. St. Louis Morning Brief coming up after the break. 97.1 FM Talk.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
We look pretty good on the roads this morning. There was a stall reported southbound 270 at the ramp to westbound 44. It's off on the right shoulder, though. It's not causing any kind of delay. We look good on westbound 270. We look good on northbound 270. And we've just got light volume at this hour, really on both sides of the river. So far, so good if you are headed out this morning. This report brought to you by Barron Mirror Glass and Door. We'd like to congratulate Barron Mirror Glass and Door on their 50-year anniversary. You don't stay in business that long by not supplying quality products and outstanding service. The key is their experienced staff. So contact Barron Mirror Glass and Door today and let them show you why 50 years is just the beginning. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
I was just talking to my sister yesterday about some of the regrets that you have when you do any sort of a design project at your home. And we probably all have them. And what you need to do, though, is reach out to my friends at Lakeside Renovation and Design. You've heard me talk about them. Great family that owns Lakeside Renovation and Design. They have this stunning showroom in Chesterfield in the valley there. You can go see for yourself. Talk to some of the in-house designers there. They can tell you all about the latest design trends. You actually can see for yourself some of the things. They have a really cool setup with a kitchen to see kind of what's been trending here for 2026. But this is also a veteran-founded company that has an A+ rating from the BBB. And if you go read a lot of those 5-star reviews reviews, you're going to see why so many people like partnering with Lakeside. Lakeside can help you with pretty much anything you want to do at your home, whether it's inside or out. So it could be kind of your own little outdoor oasis. Feels like you're on vacation every time you go home. Maybe it's an all-season room. You have a fan, you have air conditioning, a TV set up there. So no matter the weather, you can be enjoying your backyard. Could be a stunning new custom kitchen just to help you have more storage space, or maybe the setup's not so great and it's hard for you to envision what it could be. The experts at Lakeside Renovation and Design can help you with that. A new bathroom with the heated floors and the steam shower, everything to make you feel like you have a spa there right in your own home. Finish your basement off so you have more usable space to host your family and friends. Again, whatever you're dreaming up, Lakeside Renovation and Design will help you turn that into a reality. Check them out all over social media. You can see some of their before and afters. You can also visit them online at lakesiderd.com.
How would you like a free estimate on a Generac home standby generator from Generator Supercenter of St. Louis, the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer? Give yourself peace of mind now by calling for a free estimate. 314-499-2020 or GeneratorSuperCenterofStLouis.com.
If you've been thinking about refinancing, don't let the cost of an appraisal hold you back. This is James Hawkins, president of Golden Oak Lending. For a limited time, Golden Oak is offering a credit of up to $600 towards your appraisal at closing. Call today for a free mortgage checkup and see if you could lower your payment, pay off high-interest credit card debt, or put your home's equity to work. But apply by July 31st.
Golden Oak Landing cured my blues.
NMLS 114937.
Today, the Cards, the Brewers. Siteman Cancer Center game time 6:45. Play ball. Siteman Cancer Center, national leader in cancer.
Well, I'm sure you're aware, I guess you can all imagine, that not only are we busy, but other reputable companies are also just as busy, if not busier, and it's only going to get worse. So if you know, I know this is tough, but if your system has not been keeping up with your house, for just not this year, but last year, the year before, and even the year before that. If you want to quit doing it and just get it done, just call me, Bart Inman, and it's one easy number, the easiest of numbers that sometimes I forget. So write it down. 314-293-2600, Missouri and Illinois, or on the internet, bartinman.com. That is Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
The time now is 6:22, and this time check is brought to you by Paramount Men's Medical Center. Kim and Ryan are going to delve into some, a little bit more topics on the St. Louis Morning Brief. We're going to start that now.
St. Louis Morning Brief.
So 41 minors taken into custody over the 4th of July weekend because St. Louis was enforcing its new curfew for downtown St. Louis and downtown West. And what's worth noting here is there was it was a 14 and a 15-year-old who were taken into custody for violating the curfew, and their parents were unable to pick them up. So the officers had to drive them home. And they did, by the way, issue citations to the parents. But, now I know we're speculating here, but why do you think those parents might not have been able to pick them up?
There's a lot of things that you could answer.
That just tells you part of the problem right there. And again, okay, I know this is speculating, but let's be real. That's probably a fair thought process right there.
Well, all right, let's do Family Feud style, and let's go up on the board. Ding. Show me intoxicated. Ding. Yeah. Well, I guess you could do it.
No, I feel pretty good about that. Just, drugged out or at a party and left the kids alone at the house and told them they were going to we'll be back later. And the 14 and 15-year-old, okay. Well, and then they leave as soon as mom and dad leave.
Show me parents don't care. Oh, no. Oh.
Any other guesses?
Show me. Parents don't know. I can say parents don't know.
We need a ding, ding, ding sound because those are all probably very accurate. My gosh. Police also had to shut down some large street takeover at Wilmore Park, where it says 9 adults were arrested, 4 minors taken into custody. And it says they seized 9 vehicles and 2 guns. I mean, what a mess.
Takeover? Yeah.
I saw some video on social media of some idiot teens who were, and they did this last year, I'm sure they do it every year, taking fireworks and shooting them at cars as they're driving downtown. Are these random cars and they're just caught in the wrong place at the wrong time, or are these someone they're very, very much targeting?
I would say if you're risking it, man, the amount of people that have guns, that you're lucky they don't fire back, honestly. It's such a stupid thing to do.
Gosh, what a disaster. Parents need to just get more involved or care about their own children. My goodness. All right, so, the weather. By the way, am I the only one who was very caught off guard by all the rain and wind on Saturday? I thought it was supposed to be like 90-plus degrees and sunny. And it's downpouring out, raining sideways, and a number of the fireworks shows across this area had to be canceled, including the Bridgeton. Well, this is kind of interesting. Bridgeton's now planning a September fireworks show. Why not just cancel it and say, all right, this is a washout, pun intended. We're just going to do it next year.
They're going to store these fireworks somewhere. What are the odds that these firework display, wherever it's stored, it goes up in flames at some point between now and September?
Oh, my gosh.
Like,
said they had $40,000 in fireworks that became submerged. And this it sounds like they went underwater.
Submerged?
So they're going to pay again to have more fireworks?
What?
It says for the second time in 2 years, the severe weather washed out Bridgeton's 4th of July celebration. But yeah, it says that the downpour caused a nearby pond to overflow, sending water into the area where the fireworks were set to launch.
Oh, that stinks. That's terrible. I guess it's too dangerous to move them at that point because, the technicians, they have to be very, very careful. So they don't want to hurt themselves or other people accidentally lighting these things off. So if the waters are coming up, I guess you're not saving it because even moving them could be dangerous.
I guess. They're meeting today to assess how much of its fireworks inventory was damaged. And I know Florissant had to move it. I think Hazelwood may have canceled it. I know they had to, I think it was the downtown St. Louis Festival, something like that. They had to cancel. It was just the weather really kind of put a wrench in a lot of people's celebrations for the 4th of July.
Why didn't they have Dave Murray on cell phone speaker? Like, they could have had him on speed dial. Just say, Dave, call us if something's happening. We'll get the fireworks in.
Seriously.
Please.
You can just move it up or move. Yeah, I don't know. We went to the Weldon Spring one, and it was perfect because the rain kind of cooled things off. I was worried it'd make it more humid, but it felt great. It was like in the 70s, and they went off without a hitch, and it was probably the best show I've ever been to, just to give a shout out to the Weldon Spring show. So they're making all these changes as of this morning to the MetroLink, trying to make it safer. They say this is going to make it impossible for someone without a ticket to enter into the MetroLink station without scanning it. But this whole thing is being implemented within 24 hours of 2 people who were killed in a quadruple shooting near the MetroLink station in North St. Louis County. This is the North Hanley MetroLink station. 2 people dead, 2 people injured. So they keep
next fair system.
Well, they keep making all these changes, which are good. I'm not trying to say you just don't keep trying. Of course you do. But is it going to be enough? What will it take? And I have ideas. What will it take for people to actually feel safe where the vast majority of people who aren't riding it now would want to ride it?
This is hilarious. I'm looking at a video of what the new system looks like. There's these giant metal turnstiles, and it's separated by a giant fence. So I'm guessing it just makes me think of the southern border. How could this definitely
They won't be able to
bad.
get past this.
Yeah, I'm looking at it here. It does look like it would be difficult. You can't just jump over it like you see in like New York City and some of these other places. But don't worry, people will find a way. It just depends on how long it's going to take. I'm looking at the video now. Yeah, it does look like it would be a little bit tough. Listen, I would be surprised if it's not on day one someone finds a way to evade this. You're listening to the Marc Cox Morning Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
I'm John Morgan. There are many reasons to hire Morgan & Morgan for your injury case. Reason number 3. First, all lawyers are not the same. If my family had an injury case and I couldn't hire us, there are only about 3 to 4% of the lawyers out there that I would hire. And here's why. Most of them rarely, if ever, go to trial. They just take the last best offer. Hell, you can do that yourself. Do this. If you're looking for a lawyer, Google Morgan & Morgan results and see what comes up. It may shock you. Then Google the firm you're thinking of hiring and do the same. That may shock you as well. We became the largest injury firm in the world for a reason. We won a lot. $30 billion and counting. Morgan & Morgan, or thepeople.com. Who would I hire? I'd hire us.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon. I'm with Stewie from Stewart's American Mortgage, and if you're thinking about refinancing, he has some great advice.
Mark, this is a great time to refinance. If you financed over the last 3 years, you're probably paying a higher rate. Take advantage now. Refinance with the Bagel loan. No closing costs, no title fees, no lender fees, nothing. Bagel looks like a zero, easy to remember. For those of you folks that are waiting on the sideline saying, hey, maybe the rates will go down more, I'm going to wait. Take advantage now. A bird in the hand's better than two in the bush. Refinance, get the cash out you need, get a lower rate, maybe even go from a 30 to a 20 year and keep that payment the same. All with the Bagel loan.
This is a quick process, right?
We close in 10 days. We send a notary out to your house to close so you don't have to take off any time from work. It's easy. It's simple. Bing, bam, boom. Your home is the biggest investment you're going to make in your life. Deal with somebody local, somebody has a reputation, somebody has accountability. I'm here in town. You can call me or text me after hours, weekends, whenever it's convenient for you.
Call or text Stewie at 314-324-4440 or Google the Bagel loan. NMLS number 226715.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Oh, we have a really nice start to the commute going on. Northbound 55 is in great shape at this hour. The worst thing we've had this morning was somebody riding a bicycle on the shoulder of an interstate, and they're going out to take care of that. But we look good. Eastbound 70, Wright City into downtown. Quiet on the Illinois side and on the bridges. Off to a good start. This report brought to you by McKelvey Homes. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
McKelvey Homes is breaking ground on something new in O'Fallon, Strawberry Farms. When McKelvey builds something, they do it right. Visit McKelvey Homes to schedule a tour at Strawberry Farms in O'Fallon. Visit McKelveyHomes.com today and move up to McKelvey.
I'm Bill Hemmer, and these are the most impactful moments in American history. October 14th, 1947, from a Boeing B-29 bomber, U.S. Air Force pilot Chuck Yeager descended into the Bell X-1, a sleek orange plane which he dubbed the glamorous Glennis. At 20,000 feet, the X-1 launched from the B-29 and soared 30,000, 40,000, 42,000 feet into the sky. Yeager accelerated faster until Chuck Yeager reached Mach 1.06 and broke the sound barrier. It was a flight many believed to be impossible, but Chuck Yeager's historic achievement helped Americans reach new heights and test new limits.
America 250 on 97.1 FM Talk. Sponsored by Paramount Men's Medical Center.
Men. Need a clinic that accepts all insurance, including Medicare? U.S. Men's Medical Center in St. Peters does. U.S. Men's helps men experiencing loss of energy, focus, concentration, and low libido. And they accept all insurance, even Medicare, for testosterone replacement therapy. Patients love the staff and the fact that, yes, I'm going to say it again, they accept all insurance, including Medicare. Feel better? Call U.S. Men's Medical Center at 636-244-5333.
When you're hurt in a rideshare accident, whether you're the driver or the passenger, the questions come fast. Who's responsible? What's next? At Kaufman Townsley, we understand how complicated rideshare accidents can be. We know the insurance companies and we know how to hold them accountable. We're local, we're experienced, and we'll fight until you get the justice you deserve. Kaufman Townsley. Real people, real results. Call 314-777-7777.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, you're not alone. Most importantly, you don't have to live with it. Paramount Men's Medical Center restores men's sex lives in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, even when Viagra and Cialis don't work. Here's Dr. Simovitz, specialist in men's health.
Paramount Men's Medical Center's painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. 98% of patients see instant results right in the office.
Men are now lasting longer than they ever imagined. And the best part, at Paramount Men's Medical Center, your consultation and first treatment are free. Qualified patients even get their testosterone checked free. Call 314-887-4333. 314-887-4333. Take control of your sex life. Call now. 314-887-4333.
2026 is a big year for America, and we'll be here with you, celebrating every step of the way. America 250 on 97.1 FM Talk, sponsored by Paramount Men's Medical Center.
And welcome back to the Marc Cox Morning Show. I'm Ryan Recker, filling in for Marc Cox. You can find me online at Ryan Recker Radio. And let's take a look at some business with Dom Savino. Good morning, Dom. How are you, sir?
I'm good, Ryan. How was your holiday weekend?
Good. You know, we're coming off an extended weekend. Markets closed on Friday. How are things looking to start the week?
Yeah, a long holiday weekend did not seem to slow Wall Street's roll, so very good news there. Futures are mostly higher as the market tries to build off a surge that sent the Dow to record highs. This week's big financial event comes Wednesday. It's the release of the minutes from the Fed's June meeting, the first one led by new chairman Kevin Warsh. One of the world's top chip makers is launching a long-awaited listing here in the U.S. South Korea's SK Hynix wants to raise about $28 billion. It's expected to be the second largest share sale ever. It will trail only last month's debut of SpaceX. SK Hynix wants to capitalize on the global AI boom after outperforming rivals like Samsung and Micron. Another good sign from Boeing as the plane maker tries to ramp up production and keep pace with the enormous demand for jets. The company will open a fourth assembly line, churning out 737 MAX jets in Washington state. It is the same plane involved in the 2024 mid-air blowout of a door on an Alaska Airlines flight. The cartel of oil-producing countries and its allies have agreed to boost output as shipping traffic through the Strait of Hormuz gradually recovers. It's the fifth straight monthly increase for OPEC Plus as the group continues to unwind years of production cuts. Lockheed Martin is leading the race to buy a naval defense group. The defense heavyweight is expected to spend $3.5 billion for Ultra Maritime. It specializes in anti-submarine technology. Lockheed has benefited plenty from the conflicts in Ukraine and Iran, increasing demand for munitions worldwide. At the box office, the 4th of July weekend, it was more fizzle than pop. The new Minions movie stumbled its way to the top spot. The prequel Minions and Monsters posted the worst opening weekend in the Despicable Me franchise at $61 million. And Ryan, it stretches 38 feet long, it's 12 feet tall, and its starting price is $19 million. Its name, Gus. It's a T-Rex that's gone on display to the public in New York City ahead of bidding set to begin at Sotheby's this weekend. Gus is reportedly one of the biggest, most complete, and most expensive dinosaur fossils ever to be sold at public auction. And Ryan, if we stash our pennies together, maybe we can afford one bone.
What would we do with it? Like, what
cost
would you do
per
with
bone?
that?
Is it like a BOGO? Buy one bone, get one free?
I wish.
Oh, no.
I don't think there's any discounts when it comes to this.
My 3-year-old son, I would be a hero if I got that. You know, and Marc Cox, he's not here to defend himself, but he got one of those like dinosaur teeth off Facebook Marketplace, and he thinks it's authentic, and we make fun of him for, saying it's from China. It was made in a lab.
Off Facebook Marketplace?
It was off, wasn't it, Ethan, off Facebook Marketplace?
Yeah,
something like that. I don't remember. Again, he can't even defend himself, but yeah, we'll have to get him one of the. Actually, this one you're saying is authentic.
This is a real, it was once living Tyrannosaurus Rex, yeah.
I love the idea of Marc Cox showing up to a Schnucks parking lot buying dinosaur bones.
I'd like my dinosaur
out of a
tooth.
trunk.
Well, let me say this. I don't think it was like officially like he bought it from like Scabby Joe in an alley. I think he saw it on Facebook. You know how they give you the targeted ads, and then you can you see it on Facebook, but it's still some weird non-authentic company. Who knows? Who knows?
I mean, what a great algorithm to have where it recommends dinosaur bones for you. That's so much better than what it recommends to me. Yeah, dinosaur teeth. Dom, can I ask you one other thing, Dom?
Shoot.
One thing I heard you mention this morning with Gordon Deal is the Minions movie that came out. And back in the day, $65 million or whatever it made would have been a good opening weekend. But in today's terms, that's considered a bust?
For the Minion standards, they may be tiny, but they have set themselves very high standards. $61 million on the first weekend is apparently pocket change for them. So
Wow.
of all the films that the Minions and Gru and the whole Despicable Me franchise have had, is their worst opening weekend ever.
Wow. And that seems like a lot of money, though, for an opening. Most movies would be satisfied with that, honestly.
Are people really going to the theaters anymore? And I know I have young kids, so that's a deterrent for me. But is that really what people are? I don't know. I don't know many people who are going to the movie on a regular basis. Usually people just end up renting them or buying them on a streaming service.
It's been a good run for Hollywood this year. It was a slightly worse than expected holiday weekend, and the Minions may be part of the reason why. They may be part of the blame here in all this.
Yeah. Oh, I just got a text message from Marc Cox who said he got a lead on some Minion bones. He's going to go pick up today. Dom, thank you very much. Have a great week, Dom. We appreciate it.
You guys do. Take care.
Dom Savino, This Morning with Gordon Deal. You can hear him on there. He does a fantastic job. He's rushing out. He said, I better get it before someone else does. So he's going to get some Minion bones, possibly bring it in tomorrow.
Minion bones.
And it's
there was
right
a letter of
outside
authenticity, by the way, with the dinosaur tooth.
Right. It's outside of a Costco, and it comes in one of those bags that you buy the rotisserie chickens. So he's a little skeptical.
You meet somebody at like the Sky Zone parking lot to get your official.
Yeah, where would you meet? Of all the places in St. Louis, where would you meet someone to get Minion bones? What would the spot be?
If I had a dinosaur bone, I'd say meet me at the Science Center or meet me at the City Museum, just to kind of, a little extra authenticity maybe.
Like they just stole it. Forest Park. Yeah, that would be a good spot. Forest Park would be probably a place where there's a lot of people. No one would ask questions.
Would you ever do a Facebook Marketplace deal where you're in some sketchy area? I would always make sure it's in a well-lit area where there's a lot of people so that if I get shot or robbed, that people will be witnesses.
All right. So this is what you do. You go downtown St. Louis, then you go a little bit north, a couple blocks.
In an
make
alley.
a left, so you're going west, yeah. You're going to pass 5 abandoned buildings. When you find the one that's been burnt, make a right. go up the street. Now, don't stop at the car that has 2 cylinder blocks under it. Stop at the car with 4. Pull off to the side. And then what we need you to do is just leave your keys in the car and then step out, go across the street. We'll get you the bones, and then you'll hop right back in and go. Is where you would find it.
Also, bring a lot of cash on you. Don't ask questions, just bring cash.
More than you need. In fact, probably double or triple to what you need. And this is just to save us some time. Have your debit card ready, and then in permanent marker, write your code on the back.
You know what? There are people in this world who would do that. Who would be like, okay, that sounds legit.
But I got a good lead on dinosaur
But I got
bones.
a great price on the dinosaur bones, and they're authentic. It comes with a letter of authenticity.
Is it mostly, you think, museums and things that are bidding on this, and whoever has the most money in their endowment or whatever to, like, if they have a bunch of money, or a university that has just this giant backing, is that who is buying these bones?
I guess.
That have to be, right?
I mean, I just question. I'm the skeptic who's like, how do I really know that's a real Tyrannosaurus Rex bone?
Yeah. I'll talk about this later, too, with the Taylor Swift stuff going on. At what point do people look at Taylor Swift and say to themselves, all right, that's a little much? Why do people worship her like she's not this out-of-touch astronaut that's, basically living her life in space and you're down in the dirt? People just adore her, and her fans adore her so much that she can do no wrong. After a wedding like she just had, they make it sound like she's still relatable to the everyday person, like not even close. So the person that's buying these dinosaur bones and things, they're not relatable to us in any way. Like
Speak
there's
for yourself,
nothing
Ryan.
normal about them. Nothing normal.
The whole Taylor Swift thing, you're right. I do think that given how much money she has, she seems to have, and let me clarify when I say this, a good head on her shoulders. Now, I do not agree with 99.999% of the things I've heard her say, and I do think people parents and their daughters have a very unhealthy obsession with Taylor Swift. And some of her stuff, not to go down the Taylor Swift rabbit hole right now, but she has some stuff that is borders on satanic. And the fact that these moms are letting their daughters sing these lyrics and act like she's a god, that is a problem in and of itself. But I mean, it's concerning to me, you know. But at least she's not out there. I will give her credit. At least she's not out there like some of these other women, like I was going to say Nicki Minaj. That's not the who am I thinking of? Who sang that? Oh gosh, do I even say this on the air? WAP. Who sang WAP?
Oh,
not Nicki Minaj.
Cardi B?
No. Cardi B sang
The Stallion?
WAP? Okay. Cardi B, but a lot of those women who like basically were thongs on the air. I mean, not on the air, for their concerts. Like that is terrible too when you have these artists who are singing really awful, inappropriate lyrics and they're wearing basically nothing on stage. And there's these young girls like in the front row, like singing to them. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like what kind of a role model is that?
I'm going to have to look this up to make sure I say the right name. Okay, this would have been, Megan Thee Stallion. Remember when Kamala Harris was campaigning and she was throwing out all this money to celebrities to put their backing behind her?
Yeah.
And then afterwards, Harris loses and they're like $1 billion in debt, the Democratic Party or something. It's total. So she hired Megan Thee Stallion to open for her in Atlanta, and the crowd gets pumped. Now, do you remember what Megan Thee Stallion said? Well, they were pumping up the crowd for the big rally for Harris. She said she was, and I'm going to say this, and this is exactly what she said, and I'm just saying this for the sake of news. She was part of, quote, Hose for Harris.
What a group to be part of. Kids,
that's
you want to be part of a group.
Rally.
You want to fit in, be part of the Hose for Harris group today.
Exactly. So the crowd goes crazy. And you're right. Okay, at least Taylor Swift won't do that. I'll give her that. But look at this. You know, she shuts down a major portion of New York for her wedding. Give me a break. Like there's a different type of lifestyle she's living there. She's not an everyday person.
No, I agree with that. And people were really mad about the whole shutting the road down. But I did hear someone say, like, she's public. How does she get to have a private? She doesn't deserve to have a private wedding. Yeah, come on. Yes, you can be a celebrity and be public and have a private wedding. There are certain things where people say, I want my privacy. And it's like, dude, you're a public figure. You don't really have that anymore. But a wedding is something where I do feel like you should be able to have a private wedding. And people who are all up in arms about that, come on.
Yeah. All right. Well, how about we go to another news coming up after the break? Really looking forward to it. And we're going to keep an eye on everything that's going on. I love reading some of the comments that are coming in. We're live on Facebook, YouTube, X, and Rumble on the Window World webcam. Simply the best for less. You're listening to the Marc Cox Morning Show. I'm Ryan Renker, filling in 97.1 FM Talk.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
We are having a great commute this morning, a day after a holiday. Generally good, especially in the summer. And we look great from North County down into Jeffco. We look fine on 55. We're quiet on both the Missouri and Illinois sides at this hour. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
We're here to celebrate America's 250th birthday in 2026. This is 97.1 FM Talk. America 250 is sponsored by Paramount Men's Medical Center.
Hey, when I talk about foundations, I know of what I speak. I've had this problem before with water in a basement, and it's no fun, right? It keeps you up at night sometimes, and you want to get the problem fixed. Now, Matt Hayes of Home Shield Foundation Repairs tells me that one of the bigger problems that he's seen over the years is that people are afraid to call. They have a call hesitation because they're afraid it's going to cost them more than they thought. Well, you're never going to know till you make the call, but you have to trust that the person that's doing it is going to do the very best job for you and be honest with you about what needs to be done, that they're not there to sell you, a waterproofing package for your basement. They're to fix the crack and move on and then give you a lifetime warranty. That's what Matt does. Call him at 314-271-9900. Tell him Marc Cox referred you, 314-271-9900, or just check him out online. It's HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com.
When you're approaching retirement, there are a lot of questions to answer. Do you have enough money to fund your income for life? How should you claim Social Security? And what's your plan for health care and long-term care? Hi, I'm Eric Robert, Director of Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Don't leave your retirement to chance. It's crucial to understand and address relevant risks before you retire. Our team can help you get organized, guide you through critical retirement decisions, and create an investment portfolio designed around your needs. To schedule your free retirement plan consultation, go to clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com. Or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated. Member SIPC and NYSE.
Hair Volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Available as a tablet or delicious gummy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
The Marc Cox Morning Show is St. Louis conservative.
What's happening?
Go, you know the thing.
What the hell is going on?
In other news.
All right, before we get started, we do have a special guest in the studio this morning. Introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Grant Salzman. I'm new here at Odyssey, KMOX, KFTK, and I'm training in here. Now I get to sit in other news. I'm excited.
There's some weird stories in another news,
Let's
one of
hear
our
'em.
favorite segments. And so, Grant, you'll be here with us today, tomorrow, and Wednesday. Mark, by the way, is back tomorrow, so we're thankful for Ryan filling in. And, man, these stories
I thought you were going to say something else.
Oh, what were you thinking I was going to say?
I thought you were going to say, we're so grateful Marc Cox is going to be back tomorrow.
No,
I can't
Ryan,
get it.
we
I
love
gotta
when you
get this
fill
Ryan
in.
out.
We love when you fill in. You're always a guaranteed good time. So Joey Chestnut has won his 18th career title at Nathan's famous hot dog eating contest. This just grosses me out. He devoured 66 hot dogs and their buns in 10 minutes, and he beat the runner-up by 15 hot dogs.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
God
I
bless
think it's
America.
What are you complaining about?
But they have to dip the bun in water to get it down. That's the most disgusting part.
Hey, guy almost
think
goes
that's-
to jail. He comes back and he still wins it.
Did he almost go to jail?
Yeah, he beat up a dude at a bar.
I did not
Didn't even
know
know he
that
did it.
about Joey Chestnut.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't disrespect hot dogs in front of George Chestnut. He will not allow it.
That was why.
Wow. Did not know that.
Well, it might be better than dipping your hot dog in Frank's Red Hot sauce. Apparently, there was a semi-truck in Ohio that got into a little trouble because it started leaking this red liquid, and they thought, oh, man, transmission leak, something's bad. Well, apparently, they were hauling 40,000 pounds of Frank's Red Hot sauce, and it started leaking off of Interstate 71. And at first, they didn't know what it was. They're like, could be toxic. This could be problems. This could be anything. It could be harmful to the environment. Then they realized, I think a officer dipped his finger in it and put it to his tongue and said, wait a minute.
People
this
out
is
there
Frank's Red Hot.
licking the road, they have like their leftovers in the front seat, dipping their, what would they dip? What's really good in
wings?
Wings, so
anything.
good with Frank's Red Hot.
Some fries.
How brave are you to put your finger in there and just be like, let me taste this?
Yeah, I think I know what this is.
I
got a
doubt they put their
suspicion.
finger in it. I don't know what they did, but
surely
no
I might have made
way.
that part up.
No, you did not. Yeah, there's no way that he put his finger in it, especially if they're worried that it's toxic. Hang on, this might not be toxic. Let me stick my finger in it really fast.
That's what she said.
All right. Yeah, you had to do the drop. Get all the drops out of your system now. Mark's back tomorrow. Well, this is a dark turn here. So there was a toddler in Arizona who was discovered to be alive in the morgue of a hospital after being pronounced dead by a doctor hours earlier. Especially having two young kids, this makes me so sad. But this was an 18-month-old who was pulled from a backyard swimming pool during the Super Bowl party. This actually happened on February 8th. But anyway, the 18-month-old was pronounced dead. And the parents had said goodbye. About 5 hours later, the parents were being questioned by detectives at a police station, and that they learned that their son was still alive.
What? This is in the United States?
This is in Arizona.
How messed up are you as a parent when you find that out?
Well, I mean, so relieved.
Well,
but
yeah,
what,
I'm just
what
saying,
about
like,
the doctor?
the emotional roller coaster you just went through.
With the doctor. Is there any sort of, is there a consequence? I don't want to say consequence. I mean, is the doctor in any way held accountable? I understand these things can happen, but imagine if no one, like, how did they even discover the baby was actually alive? What if you'd left the baby and the baby ended up dying?
Is he still alive?
Oh, yeah.
To my knowledge.
This sounds like something that happens out of India or someplace,
Not Arizona.
This seems to...
Or Grey's
not
Anatomy.
Arizona.
Yeah, Grey's Anatomy.
Grey's Anatomy. The country of Grey's Anatomy. Even thinking about that scenario, tell me the grief that you go through as a parent in the back of your mind thinking, what if they're still alive? And then not being able to let that go in the back of your mind, you read this story and think, what if it happened to me or my family?
You do that. I mean, my mom, I don't mean to like bring up something sad, but I remember, my mom died last year very unexpectedly, and I saw her in the hospital, and I remember having those thoughts. Of how do you really know she's gone? It's like you don't want to say bye and you don't want to leave because you're so worried that, like, what if someone accidentally says they're gone and they're not? It's crazy.
That's tough. It is rough. Well, one other quick thing. Do you know who Coco Gauff is, the tennis player?
I don't.
Oh,
she's young.
I'm not a big tennis fan. No. Mm-mm.
She's American. She's fantastic. She's like the best in the world. And she was playing at Wimbledon. And one of the things I didn't realize is that Wimbledon has a curfew of 11 p.m. So she could have gotten in trouble because they started the game late. And if you don't finish before the curfew at Wimbledon, you get in trouble. And now because she's young, it reminded me of the St. Louis curfews. If her parents would have to come pick her up at Wimbledon for playing tennis too long at night.
Oh, man. That's interesting they have a curfew.
I don't know if that's necessary
the
in today's
local
world,
curfew, they can't play past 11 p.m. local time.
Yeah.
And it was 10:59 when she won the last point.
Wow.
Because if she would have lost that game, they would have had to keep playing the next day. So she would
they have to stop in the middle of it
They would
and
have to
come
stop
back.
in the middle, yeah. So she said she was really glad to
I bet.
close it out.
Oh, my gosh.
or risk suspension to keep going past 11 o'clock.
That's wild.
How would you like it? Like all the athletes that get in trouble for things, beating up their wives, drunk driving, killing people. She gets in trouble for breaking curfew at Wimbledon. And that's like her scandal. That's like the best scandal possibility for an athlete, honestly. All right, Grant, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Thank
on
you.
the live feed there. Marc Cox will be in tomorrow. Everyone will be in a better mood because I'll be gone. You're listening to the Marc Cox Morning Show. I'm Ryan Recker filling in 97.1 FM Talk.
No doubt about it, prices are rising on everyday essentials. Home values have gone up. They've gone up through the roof. If you're in a home, there's a good chance you're sitting on a lot of equity. That's probably why you need to get a hold of my friends at Golden Oak Lending and talk to them about a cash-out refinance so you can maybe pay off some short-term debt you have, or maybe you're about to buy new. If that's the case, here's the deal. They've lowered rates to 4.5%. Think about that. It's a great rate. It's a 15-year loan, and you can take cash out if need be and pay off that debt and go 2 months without a house payment, or you can buy, if you're buying a new home, you can also get the same deal. Just reach out to them at 314-567-GOLD. Apply at goldenoaklending.com. That's a 5.442 APR, 20% equity with qualified credit, an FHA 15-year loan. Their NMLS number is 114937.
You feel it every time you check out. Prices up, paychecks stretched, families squeezed. That's why Ann Wagner's fighting to get government off your back and out of your way. Wagner passed the largest tax cut in American history, expanded child tax credits, ended taxes on tips, overtime, and Social Security. And Wagner is working to lower costs so families keep more of their hard-earned money. But Ann Wagner knows delivering from Missouri means more than just protecting their wallets. It means protecting our streets as well. That's why Wagner fought to secure our border, deport dangerous illegal aliens, partner with law enforcement, and put predators behind bars and off our streets so our neighborhoods and communities stay safe. Because real effective leadership protects what matters most: your money, your family, your safety. Ann Wagner for Congress.
I'm Ann Wagner, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Ann Wagner for Congress.
One of the biggest gifts you can give your family is peace of mind. That's why I trust and recommend Civia Law. They've helped so many families, including mine, right here in our community with estate planning, wills, trusts, powers of attorney, and elder law issues. I've seen how stressful it can be when a loved one passes without a plan. Families are left confused, sometimes tied up in probate court, and it can cost so much in time and money. But with Civia Law, you don't have to worry about that. They'll walk you through everything and even deliver your completed documents in just 2 weeks from your first appointment. And here's something special just for you. Mention the Annie Fry Show, and the first 10 listeners right now will get a free strategy session. That's a $300 value. 833-995-WILL. Just be sure to mention the Annie Fry Show when you call. Civia Law has 7 convenient locations across Illinois and Missouri, including in Edwardsville, Swansea, and Creve Coeur. Secure your legacy and protect the people you love. Call 833-995-WILL. That's 833-995-WILL. Or visit CiviaLaw.com.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-777-7777.
That's 314-777-7777.
World Cup controversy. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. Team USA is waiting to find out if its leading star, Flo Balogun, will be able to play tonight against Belgium in Seattle. An automatic one-game suspension after a red card ejection in the last match for stepping on an opponent's ankle was lifted by soccer's governing body FIFA after a phone call to its president from President Trump. Fox's Jay Berman reports that may not be the last word.
When the U.S. and Belgium meet in the round of 16, Balogun will indeed be in uniform as for now. The Belgian Soccer Federation formally wrote to FIFA to appeal the matter, and the right to appeal was granted. The submission for the appeal had to be in by 8 a.m. Eastern Time, as well as the response from U.S. Soccer.
And that red card call itself was controversial. It doesn't appear that Balogun meant to hurt the other player. President Trump is expected to leave tonight for the NATO summit starting tomorrow in Ankara, Turkey. UK Ambassador Christian Turner spoke to Fox about the president's demand for more burden sharing. Here's Fox's Alex Hogan.
Ahead of the summit, the White House says that it's looking to what it calls a posture review of shifting the burden of Europe's defense to Europe. Britain's ambassador to the U.S. appeared on Fox saying that that's a message that the UK accepts.
The outgoing British Prime Minister announced a huge rise in our defense spending. It adds up to $393 billion US over the next 4 to 5 years.
President Trump will meet with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky at the summit. A senior U.S. official says the discussions will center on the urgency to end the war and that the president will likely also follow up with Russian President Vladimir Putin as well.
And Zelensky is asking for more international support after Russian airstrikes kill at least 18 people in and around the capital Kyiv overnight. In Rittman, Ohio, a police officer is killed. 2 others and a police dog are wounded. Shot responding to reports of gunfire at a home. That suspect and 2 other people were found dead inside the home. Several police cars with bullet holes had to be towed from the scene. America's listening to Fox News.
I move mountains for a living. Literally. That means I don't carry hand lotion, and when it comes to serious heartburn, I don't mess around with anything but Rolaids Max Strength. Its dual-active formula has 1,500 milligrams of calcium carbonate and magnesium hydroxide that relieves heartburn fast. And the best part? The roll fits right here in my pocket, so I can get back to moving mountains.
Rolaids spells powerful relief. 1,500 milligrams is our highest amount of antacid per tablet. Read each label. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-889-5566. That's 800-889-5566.
Good morning, I'm Kim St. Ange for 97.1 FM Talk. Sunny here downtown at the Arch. We're sitting at 73 degrees. It's 3 minutes after the hour. Here's what's making headlines on this Monday, July 6th. 41 juveniles were taken into custody over the weekend in downtown St. Louis for violating the curfew. 2 of them, a 14 and 15-year-old, had to be driven home by police because the parents were apparently unable to get them. Those parents were ticketed. And the vast majority of these juveniles who were taken into custody over the weekend don't live in the city. That curfew, by the way, will remain in effect through September 8th. The city of Kirkwood is accused of lying about firing 2 top city employees and secretly paying them to leave. Mark Petty, who is the longtime director of Kirkwood Electric, is blamed for massive overspending within the department last year. Russell Hawes, the former city administrator, was also fired, according to the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. Kirkwood officials claim they retired while giving them severance payments totaling more than $300,000. Heads up, some big changes are now in place at the Metrolink. Starting this morning, Metro will turn on its new fare system, ticketing machines, and security gates at 13 stations. The goal, they say, is to modernize the fare system and make riding the Metro safer. Metrolink officials say this new system will make it physically impossible for someone to enter a Metrolink station without scanning a ticket. In sports, Cardinals went 2-1 against the Cubs over the weekend, losing yesterday's game 6-4 the final. Cards hosting the Brewers tonight. First pitch 6:45. That, by the way, kicks off a 5-game series and a stunning reversal from FIFA. Team USA's top goal scorer will be able to play in tonight's game against Belgium. That was after getting a red card in the match against Bosnia. Kickoff for tonight's game is 7 o'clock. 73 degrees here downtown, coming up on 7:05. I'm Kim St. for 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
We look great on the roads this morning. We've had really light traffic out there so far. And if you're just headed out, that continues to be the case. Now, there is a report of a stalled trash truck, and that is on the ramp from eastbound 70 to Mid-Rivers Mall Drive. So if you're in that area, oh, yeah, there they are. They're kind of off on the right side of the ramp, and it's not causing a delay. Traffic is light enough at this hour that there really aren't any issues out there. We're quiet on the Illinois side as well. So far, so good this morning. This report brought to you by the fabulous people at the Diamond Shop. The Diamond Shop, making St. Louis sparkle for over 100 years. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
After some rock and roll weather over the weekend, we've got the northwest flow coming back for us on this Monday. Partly sunny skies. It's a little less humid, and it is cooler. 87 for the high. Then tonight, partly cloudy skies. 68 degrees. Tuesday, sunny and 89. Wednesday, sunny and 82. That's a nice little break. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
I always appreciate when Dave Murray tells us there is a northwest flow. All right, 73 degrees here, 7:06 is our time. As always, you can take the Marc Cox Morning Show with you wherever you go. Listen to the show from anywhere around the world. All you have to do is download our free Odyssey app.
The Marc Cox Morning Show is brought to you by Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group, retirementkey.com.
This is the Marc Cox Morning Show.
And welcome back. I'm Ryan Renker, filling in. Happy to be with you on this Monday morning, post 4th of July. Hope everyone had a great 4th of July holiday weekend. Kim, I love that your family read the Declaration of Independence out loud. I think that's such a great tradition.
We all took turns reading a portion of it, and then we pretended like we were the different states taking a vote. And so each of us, my dad would say, all right, New York, how do you vote? And each of us would have to go around, for example, and say, New York says yay. Maine says yay.
I think that's so great. I love it so much. Mostly because if you have kids, that's a great way for them to participate too, because they can do that part.
Yeah. No, they had fun with it.
Most kids can't read the cursive anymore, though. So
the words, though, were really funny, even as for the adults, because it's just not the language that we would speak now. In fact, my sister sent me something on it was our group family chat, and it was a post saying, like, if this were if we were to write the Declaration of Independence in 2026, this is how it would likely be worded. And it's so different. It's just not language that we would typically say. So even as an adult trying to read it, sometimes you're like, wait, what?
How many times would the word bro be in there?
Yeah, that would be funny to see, just the slang that we use nowadays.
Oh, no, bro.
Listen, England, bro, we're over it.
Bro,
we're through. We're peacing out.
This is back when they would ask me to read passages from the Bible. I use the King James Version, and I'll tell you the pressure to go up and read in front of the church something from the King James Version.
Oh, yeah.
So you go up and you read a couple of passages, and you go back, and this always happened to me. I'd look at my wife, and I'd say, did I pronounce everything correctly? And she'd always go, no. Ooh, you missed that, or you did this wrong. Every time. I don't know why they kept asking me to do it. I think your association with radio and what you do, they feel like you're a professional, but what they don't realize, I'm barely literate. Reading something from the King James Version flawlessly
That's
is
a hard
very
version.
difficult.
Yeah, it's just not the way we speak now.
So you're saying there's a bro version of the Constitution
No.
out there somewhere?
The one I saw didn't have any bros. Ethan, you mentioned earlier 6'7", nothing like that. But it was just you could understand it a lot easier when you're reading it.
Yeah, step off, England, step off.
Get off my back, bro.
Yeah, get off my. Don't taste me or don't text me, bro. That's part of it. All right, let's do the short list.
The Marc Cox Short List, presented by Rhino Shield.
As Interior Secretary, will you recommend to the president that he condemn this group and what they were trying to message, what they did try to message?
This is part of free speech in America. They can say it, we can object to it, but it is something that comes with free speech in America.
I love that. This is Dana Bash would say that to someone from the Trump administration. I think the same question would be, are you going to try to talk your party out of backing the guy with the Nazi tattoo? Would you ask that question to a Democrat, please? Because I don't think they understand just how wide-reaching the left wing has gone when it comes to Democrats and the socialist kind of takeovers from these politicians and the Nazi tattoos and things like that. If you would take that more seriously, that'd be nice. The protesters or the people that are marching in D.C. and not really starting anything, you're trying to associate that with the Trump administration, but you won't associate the guy with the Nazi tattoo with the Democrat Party because, by the way, he is a candidate for the Democrat Party, and you're backing him. This is what you should really be upset about, not these guys marching.
The ideals captured at our founding were unprecedented in 1776, and also they remain unfinished in 2026.
That is Governor Wes Moore. Ideals captured by the founding were unprecedented, remain unfinished. And I will say that as we strive for a more perfect union, it seems like it'll always be unfinished. It'll never be perfect. But the idea is we strive towards it, and that's what makes America great.
This is a serious threat to our whole system of government. These are Marxist. It's communism, socialism. Those are deviations of Marxism. Begins with the opposite premise of America, and it is a serious threat to us.
I think that Mike Johnson and Donald Trump and a lot of other politicians right now are thinking to themselves, maybe we'll give the Democrats the benefit of the doubt, and maybe they just don't know what communism is. Maybe the public education failed them. So how about we explain it to them in common terms? If they haven't picked up on it now, I don't know if they ever will, but maybe that's the approach. Like, we'll at least give it a shot to explain it to them.
We are one family. You showed that tonight with one flag. And as our Declaration of Independence tells us, we are all made in the image of one almighty God.
It was a really good speech from Donald Trump, who insisted, despite the weather conditions, to give the speech on the 4th of July. He wanted to be able to have that in the future. People can go back and look. I know what my tendencies are. Sometimes if you're like, okay, I want to find a good 4th of July speech. Oh, I wonder what Donald Trump said on 4th of July. You got to have those archived and ready to go in the future because you know people are going to be looking towards those type of historic speeches. So I'm glad he performed it because it was a great speech. Did you get to watch any of it, Kim?
I watched snippets of it. I know I saw part of J.D. Vance's speech, and that was also really well done. And just calling out some of the crazies, the socialists in our country who are seemingly taking over. They're not really, but we've seen an increase in them, and just saying we need to be proud of our country. There's so much to be thankful for and the freedom we have here, and people just take it for granted, So I know J.D. Vance was saying, don't listen to all those people who want to poo-hoo our country and say that it's just terrible and systemically racist and all these different things that you hear described about America.
Yeah. And it was a late speech from the president. I mean, really late. Maybe we play a clip from J.D. Vance. Ethan, if we can play clip number 5, because he did knock it out of the park with this, too.
So what I'd ask you to do, my fellow Americans, on our 250th birthday, is to reject the two-dimensional view of your fellow citizens and reject the two-dimensional view of your country. Reject that America is a place for zero-sum thinking, because it is not. Our history is one of people carving a great civilization out of the wilderness. Reject the view of your nation that sees only its sins, but not its grace and its greatness.
J.D. Vance, awesome. This whole speech was like that. It was great. And well worth your time to look that up. And same with President Trump's speech. But J.D. Vance, you were very well said. And we get into that. We get into this idea that, when you talk to primarily leftists that just talk about, we're a racist country and we're this and we're that and blah, blah, blah. That's kind of what they say. Let's go back to slavery, and that's what defined us as a country. Well, I would say what defined us as a country is that we overcame it. I think we were the second or third country on the planet to outlaw
to get
slavery.
rid of it. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I agree.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say I find that we were progressive in that way, thanks to the Republican Party, to get rid of things like slavery very quickly compared to the rest of the world, where it still exists in some places today. And we continue to really be the leader of the world because of these things. Now you find other countries that have gone even further progressive because they said, okay, the idea of ending slavery might have been a progressive thought back in the day, some hundreds of years ago. But how about we look at where some of these other countries are going now, and they're saying it's not progressive enough, and look at how people are revolting in those countries because they're saying you've gone too far. I find, as the United States, and what J.D. Vance mentions there, is that you can't look at a nation of we've committed these atrocities and sins, and that's the definition of the country, when you could look at it and say the grace and greatness of the country overcame those things, and look at where we are now. That's what you should be looking at, just like you would an individual too.
I was going to say, I hope these people who are saying that have never done anything wrong in their life that would deserve forgiveness or what, because that's kind of the mindset that these people have.
Yeah, it is.
We can't forget, like, the people who are tearing down the statues. It's like you can't look at some of the good that they did for our country. They just have to say, well, they did this and they did that, and therefore they don't deserve to have any sort of acknowledgement.
Right. All right. Joining us after the break, Hans von Spakovsky. Is he going to be coming on?
Yep.
Advancing American Freedom, senior legal fellow. Looking forward to our conversation with him next on 97.1 FM Talk.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Well, we did have a report of an accident, Gravois at Kennerly Road, which, of course, is just a little west of 270. But really, we look great this morning. Light volume in general from North County down into Jeffco and St. Charles County all the way into downtown. We look good on the Illinois side as well. So a really nice start to the day if you are headed to work eventually. This report brought to you by i3 Broadband. With the kids home for summer, your house is a digital zoo of streaming and gaming. So switch to i3 Broadband and upgrade. Head over to i3broadband.com/radio today or call 1-866-806-5485 to upgrade today, because life runs better on fiber. And i3 Broadband is here for you. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Man, are we having a good time at Lit Cigar Lounge? And if you haven't been out there, well, you're missing out. There's no reason to. It is open to everybody, and I see new friends every time I'm in there. I meet somebody new or see an old friend who heard me talking about it here on the radio. It's in the Chesterfield Valley, right down there in the district, close to the factory and Napoli Brothers. And I'm sure you've been down there. It is just a fantastic place because you walk in, it's huge. It has got a fantastic ventilation system. There are TVs on all the walls, so whatever sport you're hoping to watch, whatever game you want to catch, it's going to be on the wall down there, on one of the walls, on one of the many TVs at Lit Cigar Lounge. Perfect for date nights, of course, or just sitting down with friends. And they have live music every Friday night. Listen, this is a locally owned company. You're going to get to know the owners, Brian and Dana and Charlie and Andrew. You'll love it. Check them out in the district and online at litstl.com.
If you've been told that you need a new heating and cooling system for your home, and if you've gotten prices or you're going to get prices, call me. Try to stay away from the word high efficiency or efficiency. If you replace your system now and it's 12, 15, or 20 years old, you are greatly improving the efficiency just by replacing the old, inefficient unit. Do not be fooled. If you want a common sense approach and you just want your house cooled, I will help you. If you're good with that, call me. One easy number. It's Missouri and Illinois. The easiest of numbers, 314-293-2600. Or on the internet, bartinman.com. That's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
When it comes to planning your retirement, there's a lot to think about. Portfolio management, tax planning, and retirement income just to get started. Steve All and his team at the All Financial Group focus on those things and more. Their goal is to help you achieve your goals. Call 636-230-8824 or online, yourmoneymattersstl.com.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IBW, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Steve All, NPN number 153-07419.
Want immediate cash for your home or see what your home is really worth in today's market? Find out for free from the local experts, my friends Mark and Neil Gelman of eXp Realty. Check out thegelmanteam.com today. That's thegelmanteam.com.
Today,
The Cards, the Brewers.
Siteman Cancer Center game time 6:45. Play ball. Siteman Cancer Center, national leader in cancer.
The time now is 7:20, and this time check is brought to you by Paramount Men's Medical Center. Coming up 7:35, we're going to have the buck stops here.
The Marc Cox Morning Show is St. Louis conservative.
And welcome back to the Marc Cox Morning Show. I'm Ryan Recker, filling in for Marc Cox. Happy to be with you on this Monday after the 4th of July holiday weekend. Joining us now from Advancing American Freedom, Senior Legal Fellow Hans von Spakovsky. How are you?
Hey, Ryan. I did okay. Mark probably stayed up too late watching the fireworks, right?
You can't hang, yeah.
A lot of it. Well, at a certain age, man, here's what I found. When I was younger, when there's fireworks shooting off around me, it'd keep me up all night. Now my hearing's so bad, I don't even hear them at night. I can't even. So the late nights, I've kind of aged out of the late nights. But it sounds like you were in Washington, D.C. over the weekend. Wow, were there some great festivities going on there.
Oh, there were. My son has an apartment that's across the Potomac River from D.C., and his balcony, we were sitting on his balcony watching all of the flybys of all the military aircraft. I mean, it was quite something. And then we took a break, went to my house, and it turned out the approach path for the mall for all these planes was literally right over my house. So my wife and I were standing in the middle of the street for quite a while, watching these planes go over every 15 to 20 minutes. It really was something. Wow. I've never seen anything like it.
Wow.
That is amazing. And a lot of pride there should be on the America's 250th anniversary. And I hear some of the speeches. I thought J.D. Vance had a fantastic speech. And sometimes you have to just break it down and you look at really some of the things that make this country unique, makes this country wonderful. And one of the things that J.D. Vance said, you can't really judge the nation based on its sins, which, by the way, we've tried to rectify best we can, but the grace and greatness that this country has left behind. What are your impressions now that you've gone through these festivities from the weekend and some of the thoughts that you have about this great country?
I tell you, it was very, first of all, it was spectacular. It was a terrifically organized celebration for our 250th anniversary. And I have to say, those who were negative about it, from Mondami in New York to others, that's very revealing about them. It's very revealing about their unlove for the United States. The way to think about this is, do you, on your anniversary, tell your wife about all her failures and faults and problems? No, you don't. You celebrate your wonderful beginning, however many years ago it was, and that was what happened in Washington. That's what happened with J.D. Vance and the president, even if there were others disparaging it. And people, look, it was extremely hot. I mean, very, very hot, but people were still having a good time. And I thought it was a great way to celebrate and hopefully continue another 250 years.
I don't know what you're talking about, Hans. Whenever I go to pick out a card for my husband for our anniversary, whenever the Hallmark cards, they're like $7, I always see them saying, "You suck. This has been a terrible marriage. I guess happy anniversary." Right? That's the mindset that we have. You make a really good point there. We've talked so much over this last week about the Supreme Court decisions, and that's still something we're discussing. But you posted something on X. You shared something that I thought was very interesting, and it relates to Denver public schools. And I'm hoping you can explain that because it sounds like it could affect quite a few people.
Yeah, the Denver School Board has had a lawsuit filed against it because the members of that board, when they drew up the districts for the school board members, they were just blatantly saying that they were discriminating. They were drawing up their districts based on race because they wanted a black member and a Hispanic member, all the kinds of things that are strictly forbidden under our Constitution. They didn't try to hide it. They're proud of it. And so far, apparently, nobody had sued them and taken them to task for what is an outright violation, not just of the Constitution, but of federal civil rights laws. And this lawsuit, I think, would be like the first domino falling, because I'm sure there are a lot of other, for example, school boards across the country have done the same thing.
I find sometimes when you bring these issues up to school boards that you're arrested. Like you can bring it up in front of a school board meeting and your point will be not taken, and then you will be taken out of the building itself. So they don't take too kindly to criticisms, a lot of school boards and things. But this is a serious issue, and I know the Supreme Court has looked at least for colleges when it comes to discrimination in admissions, but there really needs to be looked at more broadly how discrimination is applied, and this type of idea that you have to be able to say that we have to have certain amount of DEI hires, things like that, in order to make a more perfect type of board is ridiculous, and it is discriminatory on its own basis.
Oh, it's patronizingly racist. Because anyone who pushes that is saying the color of your skin determines how you think, what your political opinions are. And what's more racist than that?
I wonder, too, if that will be well received. Do you think people are just tired of this? Do you think the tide is turning?
Oh yeah. It's like, for example, the polling on should colleges take into account race when they're admitting students is overwhelmingly against it by all people. Whether it doesn't matter which political party they are, it doesn't matter which race they are. It's only the academic left, the media, and others who think that's a good idea.
Did we lose Hans?
Nope, I think we still, right? Are you there, Hans?
No.
Okay.
No.
Oh,
yeah,
there we go.
Here.
Okay. Gotcha. I'm sorry. I think my headphones cut out there for a second. I apologize. All right, Hans, I know we're running out of time. I want to make sure, We know where to send people, where they can check out your latest work, things like that. Where can they go?
They can go at H. von Spakovsky or to Advancing American Freedom, and they'll find everything I've written there.
You know, I hope that people are coming off a high from the weekend, 4th of July, in a good mood, recognizing what a great country this really is. Thank you so much for joining us this Monday morning. We appreciate the time.
Ryan, thanks for having me.
Hans von Spakovsky, he's awesome. You're listening to the Marc Cox Morning Show, 97.1 FM Talk.
Listen up. If you have not paid self-employment, business, or individual taxes in years, the IRS will find you. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. I offer real solutions. If you have unfiled returns, unpaid taxes, levies, or liens, call me, Lance Drury, today, and let me get between you and the IRS. I'll protect your rights, including your right to appeal, or even your right to take the IRS to tax court. At the Lance Drury Law Firm, our practice is focused 100% on fighting the IRS. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems, and they need to be handled by an expert attorney who's done it for decades. So call the Lance Drury Law Firm today. We're local. Our office is right here in St. Louis. Call 314-260-6120 or visit LanceDruryLaw.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, you're not alone. Most importantly, you don't have to live with it. Paramount Men's Medical Center restores men's sex lives in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, even when Viagra and Cialis don't work. Here's Dr. Simovitz, specialist in men's health.
Paramount Men's Medical Center's painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. 98% of patients see instant results right in the office.
Men are now lasting longer than they ever imagined, and the best part, at Paramount Men's Medical Center, your consultation and first treatment are free. Qualified patients even get their testosterone checked free. Call 314-887-4333. 314-887-4333. Take control of your sex life. Call now. 314-887-4333.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
We look pretty good out there on the roads this morning, and there's a little bit of volume, but not much. Now, eastbound Gravois is slowing at 270. We've got northbound 270 with a little bit of moderate volume at Doherty Ferry, but for the most part, we look great. 70 is in good shape eastbound. 6440 as well. We're quiet through North County and on the Illinois side in general. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Sponsored by Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty 314-325-6888.
Need to sell your home and you want the most money? The name to remember is Gloria Lou. Yes, Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty at 314-325-6888 and start packing.
Hey, if you love camping, I'm with you. My wife and I love to explore and take off and visit national parks and all that great stuff. If you enjoy that, you need to go see my friends at Apache Village. They've got a brand new RV center out in O'Fallon, Missouri. They've still got the original in Hazelwood. We went to the new location, AV RV, out in O'Fallon, and wow, brand new. Huge service bays, a nice store if you're looking for supplies for your camper, and then there are the RVs. 300 at least new and used RVs on their lot at any given time. You can walk around, you can go inside and check out different floor plans, find out what you're looking for exactly because it's different for everybody, and then they're going to take great care of you because if they sell it to you, they service it, and they'll make sure your trip never gets delayed because of a problem. I love that. Let them make you a happy camper like they did for me. Check them out online at avrv.com.
I'm Dan Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Last year, millions of people called us for representation. Why? Because trust grows when you win, and we've won a lot. Over $30 billion and counting. When you call America's largest injury law firm, you're calling a family. You're calling an army, our army. You're calling somebody who will fight for you. Injured? Let our family fight for your family. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
If you've been thinking about refinancing, don't let the cost of an appraisal hold you back. This is James Hawkins, president of Golden Oak Lending. For a limited time, Golden Oak is offering a credit of up to $600 towards your appraisal at closing. Call today for a free mortgage checkup and see if you could lower your payment, pay off high-interest credit card debt, or put your home's equity to work. But apply by July 31st.
Golden Oak Landing, cured my blues.
NMLS 114937.
250 years of capitalism, private ownership, and rugged individualism. America 250 on 97.1 FM Talk. Sponsored by Paramount Men's Medical Center. The buck stops here.
Oh boy, welcome back to the Marc Cox Morning Show. I'm Ryan Recker filling in, and joining us now is a Yankee Doodle dandy himself, Dan Buck. How are you, sir?
Good, Ryan. How are you, buddy? You're sounding great. You guys having some fun this morning?
It's what we do, and hopefully you had a nice, relaxing, resting weekend, and you got to enjoy some of the festivities to celebrate this great country. What's on your mind?
Well, I had a great weekend. Smoked ribs over at my friends Sharon and Larry's house. They had a big pool party. We had some great fireworks here in Newtown. Pretty relaxing week. I did get to put up 9 flagpoles. Neighbors, I put out on Facebook to our Newtown residents page that if anybody needed a flagpole put up, I would be happy to come by with drill in hand, and 9 people took me up on the offer, so I got to hang some American flags for the neighbors. That was fun.
I love that, but you better be careful, Dan, because now that this is out there, that you're willing to do this, I feel like it starts at 9, and then next year it's going to be like 30, and then if people outside of Newtown are going to start asking you to do it, and you're going to have a little side. I know you were doing it for free, but you could do a little side hustle.
You know, I actually had a group, too, a bunch of great guys here in town called F3. They're a men's fellowship group that works out in the morning. About 5 guys came up and said, hey, man, if you get too many people, we're happy to help, too. So
nice.
I'll have a bigger army maybe next year, and we'll put up even more flags.
There you go.
Oh, what a great idea. This is
great.
Perfect.
Yeah, go ahead. Well, as great as the idea was, there was and the weekend was phenomenal. Just so much red, white, and blue, and everybody enjoying it. But, man, I am telling you, I had to sit in disdain as that Muslim communist mayor, Zohran Mamdani, gave his whole speech of hate and lies as he wants to try to rewrite our American history in his attempt to sell, a government controlled by socialist systems. But, his speech did inspire a Christian conservative songwriter on X, and I came across this song. I go, good for him, because this is what we have to do. We have to fight fire with fire and call these people out for what they are. This song is called We Are Free. The songwriter is a Christian conservative songwriter named Josh Stay, S-T-A-I. And here's a quick clip of that patriotic tune that calls out the democratic socialists.
Wars were fought, lessons were taught, many lives were lost. Patriots paid the ultimate cost. It's our mission now to maintain our freedoms, serving as those before, facing a new kind of war. In America we live free, we stand for life, love, and liberty. Communism has no place. This land was built on God's grace.
Oh, yeah. Great little tune. Again, you can find that on X. It's a Christian conservative songwriter, Josh Stay, S-T-A-I. Josh also asked a question on his post on whether we as a nation are ready for this next fight. This is our great next enemy, and it's coming from within, a sickness that's creeping into everyday society, bred by our universities, utilizing the brainwashed youth to get socialism elected in many cities and now, congressional seats as well. we're being attacked, folks, from within. Wake up. These are actually Americans who truly believe that somehow government can provide you with a better life. There's no longer even hiding the fact that they're selling socialism and communism and Sharia law. That's the society they want. And there's millions of them. They're living among us who think that government controls food and housing and healthcare, jobs, transportation, go right down the line. They want it all run by the government. They think a free market, capitalistic, opportunity-filled society is somehow bad. A system that, oh, by the way, has built the greatest, most powerful nation in the world, that the world's ever seen. It would seem like a very easy choice, right? But for some people, freedom is not attractive as being free. And there's a big difference. They want free food, free doctors, free housing, free buses. Just do what the government tells you and you'll get everything you need to survive. But in that society, nobody thrives, nobody succeeds. It's all about equality and getting equal and fair compensation as defined by your government. What could possibly go wrong with that, right, guys? I mean, it's unbelievable.
Yeah. Think about if Mamdani was running things, his definition, Mamdani's definition, based on what is in your mind's definition. And you know what? The people voting for him and supporting him don't realize the reality of what they're voting for, because what his definition, Mamdani, is, means you don't get anything, which is not great for them. Maybe they'll realize that.
Exactly. I did hear a great rant over the weekend by Matt Walsh. She called out these Democratic communists and all those who believe in this whacked out agenda. Truly, they don't deserve the blessings of this nation when they're sitting there bad-mouthing what has built us. Here's Matt's advice to those people who believe in Mamdani's vision.
If your solution to our problems is to embrace socialism, then you are historically illiterate, unintelligent, and therefore dangerous. If you want government bureaucrats to run the economy just like they run the DMV, then you are so ignorant and stupid, if not simply evil, that you are a threat to everybody around you. You should be deported immediately. I don't care where you were born. You don't belong here.
Yeah, Matt pretty much calling it out. What's critically important, though, for Americans to recognize, when you see these communist rallies and Mamdani out spewing his lies and false promises, you need to realize who these people are, and more importantly, who they are not. The Democratic Socialist Party, by their own numbers, this is facts that they give out, are ushering in this communist agenda to so-called bring equality and diversity, right? The party that says they want the economy to be fair for the working class. That party that villainizes the job creators, they want to tax the hell out of billionaires to pay for all their free stuff. But guess what? They aren't the working class. These are educated elitists. They are 85% white. They're only 4% black. They're 68% female. Most have never had a traditional, real working job. They're trust fund babies. They're privileged white women with 3 master's degrees in social work, gender studies, and global environment. They've never punched a time clock in their life. They bash the traditional family values. Why? Well, most of them have no children, no spouse. They hate Christianity and true liberty because they worship government. They believe their pathetic, miserable lives can only be made better through bureaucratic policy and government intercession. To beat this enemy, folks, we need to know the enemy. Don't shy away from difficult conversations when you face one of these Mamdani commie sympathizers. Call them out. One simple question will do it, too. Tell them to tell you one place in the world where socialism and communism has worked.
Yeah.
Just one.
They won't be able to
Just
come
one.
up with it. And I think it's really important that we shift the language and we call it what it is, communism. Because if you sit here and just say it's socialism, and Bindi makes a really good point on Facebook saying socialism appeals to the laziness in people. It really does. If you're willing to give up a little bit of your freedom, you can get all this free stuff. How amazing is it? The government wouldn't do anything bad to you. They want what's best for you and your family. They're going to make sure you're taken care of until it doesn't happen. And we've seen that play out around the world. And so I think it is very important that we shift the narrative to this is communism. It is infiltrating our country and it's dangerous and it has to be shut down. And I don't know if you saw this, Dan and Ryan, but Zohran Mamdani's wife, she ditched the America 250 celebration and she ended up going to Spain for some Islamic spiritual wellness retreat. So New York City, the rest of the country is celebrating America's birthday and she's in Spain doing some Islamic wellness retreat thing.
Yeah, it's insane. You know, we've had a one constitutional republic for 250 years, and it's had the greatest positive impact on the world than any other nation or form of government ever has. And yet people in this country literally want to change the founding principles that built this country. It's unbelievable. But folks, get involved, go out, make sure you vote, number one, but volunteer. You know, get involved in campaigns. We're at war with an enemy from within, and we need to stop it in its tracks. Clearly, the Democratic Party, you know, they don't have the backbone to stop this. They welcome the communists under their big tent. Well, we need to burn the tent down and expose it to the light and let everybody understand that they're killing our opportunities, they're stripping our freedoms, and we need to win this battle. And it starts in this upcoming election season, and it really comes to light in 2028. So if you're not involved in policy, you're not involved in volunteering, whether it be an election judge, whether it be at a school board, there's so many ways you can get involved in your community. I hope people will step up and stop this communist uprising.
All right. Dan Buck, before we go, if you start a charity nonprofit that goes around putting American flags on people's homes, tell me, because I would love to donate to that.
Well,
I love the idea.
It's funny. I actually got contacted by a local hardware store who heard I was doing it right up the street, and they go, "Hey, next year we'll order the flags, and we'll be the ones who will sponsor everybody's flags."
Wow,
so
Dan,
love it.
you're
Yeah,
starting
it was
something.
great.
I mean, this is a good
I'm
thing, and
telling
maybe
you.
just clear out your schedule for maybe like the 2 weeks before the 4th of July, because it sounds like you're going to be spending a lot of time putting up American flags.
Well, it would be a blessing, and I'd be honored to do it if people need it. Obviously, what would be cool is if every neighborhood got like a captain, right?
Ooh, yeah.
And most people they already had their flag bought, but they couldn't get it through we have Hardywood here, and it's like concrete. You can't get it in unless you have a concrete bit. So that's why most people weren't putting them up, and I was happy to go around and help people out.
It's awesome.
Okay, now you're going to have to explain this to me, because when you say flagpole, are you talking about you're putting the mount on the house and you stick the flagpole in it, or actual physical, 10 feet poles into someone's yard?
No, on the house. The mounts that go on the house, on the column. Yeah, and then, some people were trying to put a flat surface mount on a round pole. That will not work. It will rip off. So you got to get a rounded face mount. Yeah.
When you started explaining this and you said you put up 8 flagpoles, I thought on your property you have 8 American flags poles on your property. I was so proud.
Patriotic.
Yes,
that would be so great. I would love seeing that. Yeah. Oh, that's Dan. He's the flagpole guy. All the American flags going.
He'd probably like to be called that.
Well,
yes.
I've already been reported on people's Ring cameras. I'm the guy who will walk up on your porch and unravel it from its pole, and take it. And people are like, "Who's this guy who's walking up on our porch and unraveling our flags?" And I'm like, "Can I get in trouble for that? I probably can."
We'll bail you out of jail, Dan, for trespassing.
There you go. Exactly.
I'll tell you what. God bless America and what you're doing. Buck stops here. Dan Buck, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
You bet, guys. Have a great week, guys.
You too.
Oh, you too. I love it. What a great inspiration that is to put up the flagpole in neighbors' homes. I love it. I'm inspired by hearing that.
Hey,
you're listening to the Marc Cox
Ryan,
Morning
nothing
Show.
stops you from doing that.
We have a neighborhood group on Facebook. I could post on there and say, if anyone wants one, let me know, and start buying the materials and just installing them on people's homes. That would be fantastic. I love it. I absolutely love that idea. I think he really could start something here. And then they'll do a Hallmark movie about him one day, or whatever the streaming service is for Patriots in the future.
Yeah, probably.
Kim out of Whim coming up next, 97.1 FM Talk.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
On the roads this morning, we've got light traffic out there, but northbound 270 has some volume. This is between Big Bend and Manchester, and this is just moderate volume. Southbound a little slow at Ladue Road, but that's it. Eastbound 70 is in great shape. 64 looks good. 55 looks good. And we are really quiet on the Illinois side of the river. This report brought to you by McKelvey Homes. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
McKelvey Homes is breaking ground on something new in O'Fallon, Strawberry Farms. When McKelvey builds something, they do it right. Visit McKelvey Homes to schedule a tour at Strawberry Farms in O'Fallon. Visit McKelveyHomes.com today and move up to McKelvey.
This is a special place, but not by accident. Learn our backstory, and you'll even love America more. Celebrating America 250 on 97.1 FM Talk, I'm Brian Kilmeade.
America 250 is sponsored by Paramount Men's Medical Center.
You know the feeling. It's 2 a.m. You're awake, running the numbers in your head. Payroll's coming. A client hasn't paid. Costs just went up. And you're thinking, how am I going to make this work? That's where LendSeek comes in.
That was me. I had payroll in 3 days and money tied up in receivables. I couldn't wait weeks for a bank. I went to LendSeek, and within minutes, I saw real funding options. They were clear, upfront, no games. By the next day, the money was in my account. Payroll went out, crisis over.
LendSeek uses AI to match your business with the right funding, up to $5 million in as fast as 24 hours.
With LendSeek, it's not just funding, it's knowing you're covered when things get tight.
If you've been in business for at least 1 year with at least $500,000 annual revenue, apply today. No upfront costs, no prepaid penalties. Because in business, waiting isn't an option. Start ready, stay ready with LendSeek. Apply at lendseek.com. That's LENDSEEK.com.
Don't let tax refund worries hold you back. File now with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They'll find every credit and deduction to help you get every refund dollar you deserve, or your money back. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
It's Marc Cox. Celebrate the month of July with Zero Res. Get 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at just $129 and get your air ducts cleaned for $5.99 per unit. Book online at ZeroResSTL.com and take advantage of the savings.
Gain peace of mind that your flooring and carpet installation will be done right the first time when you hire the experts at Michael's Flooring Outlet. They give all their clients attentive personal service, even bring toys for the kids of the household. It's a family-owned and operated business for 25-plus years. They make sure you make the right choice for your home. So if you have carpets or hard floors, you're going to be happy for years to come. 3 convenient locations in St. Charles County, 116 Main Street, in Old Town St. Peters at Mid-Rivers and Highway 70, in West County on Olive, and the store in Darden Prairie. Michael's Flooring Outlet, IGotFloor.com.
Marc Cox is St. Louis conservative. Kim on a whim.
You know, people still understandably get really mad about how much you're paying when you go to the grocery store. And I get it. But whenever food prices are on the rise, the politicians, the activists, they're always looking for the villain to blame. And unfortunately, that blame often gets put on the company. They're the ones who are just greed and they just want to suck you for every little bit of money that you have. And they're the reason that you're paying more at the grocery store. And you know what? I've never been in that industry, but from everything I've heard, the profit margin at these stores is very, very slim. I get that it feels like you're paying a lot for your bananas or whatever you're buying, but I don't think that the store's making that much. And if they don't make any profit, well, then they're going to shut down and then there won't even be a grocery store. I feel like some of these activists feel like these businesses shouldn't even be able to make a profit. If they want to make a profit, then they're greedy. I'm sorry, that's called a business. That's called a successful business that stays afloat. And there's an article on Fox News' website that I thought was really interesting, and it just talks about how these politicians who are quick to want to blame the company, whoever, really what they need to be doing is changing the policies. And Trump's been harping on this, talking about how you really need to look at these restrictions, these regulations on energy production and shipping routes, all these different things that have absolutely contributed to the rising prices that we're paying at the grocery store. And it points to this ongoing war between Russia and Ukraine, which, by the way, Russia just launched more strikes on Ukraine, killed close to a dozen people over the weekend, and how that has really disrupted the key commodity markets and the trade routes. So that relates to sulfur and things like that, and that even affects the Strait of Hormuz. So that's really where we need to be looking when we're trying to get these prices down. Let's not be so quick to just say it's the greed, it's all these things, because it's the wealthy white people who want to just suck us for everything we have. That's not it. And I think that I'm hopeful that we're going to continue to lift some of these restrictions because, like I mentioned, Trump has definitely emphasized that. But I do fear that when we get a Democrat back in office, it will obviously eventually happen, whether it's in 3 years or however long, who's going to say, no fracking and no this, no that. I mean, look at the state of California. The reason why they pay gobs of money for their gasoline is because they have a stupid amount of restrictions, and then it drives up all these taxes. And then you have states, same for Illinois, and you have states like Missouri that pay far less. So it just was very interesting to me because that is something that people are talking about, this whole affordability thing. And you haven't heard much about it lately, but I'm telling you, as we get closer and closer to November with the midterm election, you will hear that word being used more and more because it's going to be one of the key things that the Democrats run on. And it's effective. So we have to be able to combat it as conservatives.
Mm-hmm. I find that going into the election season, are you nervous at all? Do you think this midterms are going to be bad for Republicans?
Given what's been playing out with the primary, yeah, a little bit. Are you?
I don't know. I find that it's hard to tell because I think that being this a couple of 1 month out from the trying to find out who the candidates are going to be, a lot of times that kind of gives you an indication of which way people are leaning. We can look at the voter outcome for those and kind of get an indication how motivated people are. I think the midterms, it's going to be tough. I find that in Michigan, there's a chance that they flip a senator. That would be good here. There's a chance of that. And some people like Chris Christie mentioned that it's likely that the Democrats win the House, but not the Senate. So you could have a split there. You'll have Donald Trump still in office. Maybe the midterms, I don't know. I'm so wishy-washy on this. I don't even know if I can make a prediction. I feel like it is so close.
I mean, historically,
and it scares me.
Historically, when you have a party that has, in this case, control of the House and the Senate and the Oval Office, you generally do have a flip for the midterm election. That's just how it has typically gone. Right. So it wouldn't be that surprising. It's not some, I'm sure the left's going to try to paint it that way. Like, see, we told you. It's like, no, this kind of follows the trend of, what was expected. But I think that it's easy to be complacent in that and to sit there and say, well, this is kind of expected. Well, just because that's expected doesn't mean that that has to be the way that this whole thing plays out. We have to push back on this narrative that they want to say that America's this or America's that, and that these policies are terrible that the conservatives have put in place, and that we don't care about people because the left is really good at playing on emotions, and they like to paint us, though, as that we don't care. It's like, oh, we don't care because we don't want to offer people all these free services. We don't care about people because we don't want to offer free daycare or free bus fares or free grocery store, quote unquote, free grocery stores like in New York City, Zohran Mamdani's trying to do. That couldn't be farther from the truth.
I find that going into this one, the Republican strategy is going to be different than previous years. So in previous years would be, okay, if we can get control, then we can pass these things. And affordability has been a big one. And unfortunately, affordability hasn't really recovered from Joe Biden. So the strategy has not been pinning this on Joe Biden. I think maybe there could be some more of that. But if the people on the ground that are still paying high grocery prices and high gas prices are looking at that, Donald Trump's going to get blamed for it, even if the big jumps happened under Joe Biden and because of him and the inflation. So they got to take a different route. Now the route that they're starting to go down is this. The Democrat Party has gone so far left that you're talking about open communism, socialism as their candidates. So this is what you're up against. So maybe we can get some of those moderate Democrats on board to say you can't go along with that in your party. It seems like they're going to test that strategy at the midterm. And if it doesn't win, then they're going to have to go back to the pound and ground, which is Supreme Court, immigration, things like that. And I don't know if you're going to win it. And that's going to be a tough one because now you're talking about a real difficult challenge up ahead for the Republican Party. They got to find that winning thing. I don't know if they have that winning thing yet, and they're still trying to, I guess, fish it out. You're listening to the Marc Cox Morning Show, 97.1 FM Talk.
You've ever bought a home, you know that it can be a stressful situation. You also know that there are a lot of real estate agents out there. In fact, you probably know several of them. I'm going to recommend, if you are thinking of selling your home and you're in the sound of my voice, to call my friend Gloria Liu, 314-325-6888. Gloria's just great. She's a friend. And I recommend her because I know how great she was when we worked with her on the sale of our last house 2 years ago. Reach out to Gloria. Just ask her questions. You're not going to be under any obligation. She can explain what's going on with the market in your particular neighborhood. She can explain her guaranteed programs where she'll guarantee to sell your home for 100% of market value, or she'll pay you the difference. That's the kind of stuff that helps you sleep better at night when you know you need the money out of your house to buy the next one. Call Gloria today, 314-325-6888, or just go to her website. Tell her Mark sent you. GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
License number GL250000615.
You're cooking dinner. The lights go out. You flip the breaker and forget about it.
But what if it keeps tripping?
Trips once, your breaker's doing its job. Keeps tripping? That's a warning. Bad wiring or something worse.
Do people just keep flipping it?
Most do, until they can't anymore.
Call Grasser. We'll stop the trip.
Green is always Grasser at GrasserHomeServices.com.
Walker just gave the Cardinals the lead. Homer! Mason Wynn to his feet. He throws. He got
St.
it.
Louis, it's time to hit the ballpark. ATL meets STL when the Cardinals take on the Atlanta Braves at Busch Stadium, July 10th through the 12th. Plus, score great weekend giveaways, including a garage shirt and a kid's jersey. Don't miss 3 days of summer baseball, family fun, and Cardinals action. Get your tickets now at cardinals.com/promotions.
Relive the magic of 2006 on Saturday, July 11th, when the Cards play the Braves at Busch Stadium. That night, fans will take home a David Eckstein bobblehead presented by Mid-America Transplant. This giveaway celebrates his unforgettable World Series MVP performance and scrappy plays that defined a championship run. Don't miss your chance to add this classic to your collection. Get your tickets now at cardinals.com/promotions.
Annie Fry here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how linking to the market is much safer than owning the market for your retirement savings. They are the official financial advisors of my show. Go to retirementkey.com.
Tony LaRussa here. Has your loss of energy and weight gain thrown you a curveball in your relationship? If so, go see my friends over at Victory Men's Health. Discreet first-class professionals will help you hit those curves out of the park. VictoryMen'sHealth.com. That's VictoryMen'sHealth.com.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-777-7777.
That's 314-777-7777.
Will they go with the flow? I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. Team USA hopes to have star striker Flo Balogun playing in their World Cup soccer match against Belgium tonight in Seattle. His suspension for stepping on an opponent's ankle in the last match is lifted after a phone call to FIFA's president from President Trump. Now there's an appeal from Belgium to have it reinstated.
Flo got the red card in the last game. That in football means an automatic one-match ban. So at that point, he was not able to play tonight. Then they reversed that decision, suspending the suspension in effect and saying, yes, he is free to play tonight. The Belgian team then lodged a protest. They said they were astonished and they were looking at all available options. And now this morning, we hear that FIFA is giving both Belgium and US soccer federations to lodge their claims as to why their view of this should be the one that FIFA follows through with.
Fox's Jonathan Hunt's in Seattle, where the match starts in 11 hours with or without Flo Balogun. The 6-day funeral procession for Iran's supreme leader, killed on the first day of U.S.-Israel airstrikes, is in the capital, Tehran, today.
Ayatollah Ali Khamenei and 4 of his family members are being mourned during the biggest day of a week of huge memorial ceremonies for the 86-year-old cleric. Mourners hurled stones at a billboard showing President Trump with a bullet aimed at his head, saying, quote, "The U.S. killed our father." Others held red placards with the English words, "Kill Trump," in black letters.
Fox's Tanya J. Powers. At least 18 people are reported killed, with dozens more injured in Russian missile and drone strikes in and around Kyiv, Ukraine. Ukraine's President Zelensky is expected to meet with President Trump at the NATO summit starting tomorrow in Ankara, Turkey. And Zelensky wants more U.S. Patriot interceptors to shoot down Russian missiles. There's a shortage made worse by the military operation against Iran. America's listening to Fox News.
I move mountains for a living. Literally.
That means I don't carry hand lotion, and when it comes to serious heartburn, I don't mess around with anything but Rolaids Max Strength. Its dual-active formula has 1,500 milligrams of calcium carbonate and magnesium hydroxide that relieves heartburn fast. And the best part? The roll fits right here in my pocket, so I can get back to moving mountains.
Rolaids spells powerful relief. 1,500 milligrams is our highest amount of antacid per tablet. Read each label. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-889-5566. That's 800-889-5566.
Good morning. I'm Kim St. Ange for 97.1 FM Talk. Hope you had a great 4th. It is 73 degrees here downtown and sunny. Our time is 8:03. Here just making headlines on this Monday, July 6th. 41 juveniles were taken into custody over the weekend in downtown St. Louis for violating the curfew. 2 of them, a 14 and 15-year-old, had to be driven home by police because the parents were unable to get them. Those parents were ticketed. And the majority of the juveniles who were taken into custody didn't even live in the city. That curfew will continue through September 8th. The city of Kirkwood is accused of lying about firing 2 top city employees and secretly paying them to leave. Mark Petty, who is the longtime director of Kirkwood Electric, he's blamed for massive overspending within the department last year. Meanwhile, Russell Hawes, who was the former city administrator, he was apparently also fired, according to the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. Kirkwood officials claimed they retired while giving them severance payments totaling more than $300,000. Some big changes are now in place at the Metrolink. Starting this morning, Metro turned on its new fare system, ticketing machines, and security gates at 13 stations. The goal, they say, is to modernize the fare system and make riding the Metro safer. Metrolink officials say this new system will make it physically impossible for someone to enter a Metrolink station without scanning a ticket. In sports, Cardinals went 2-1 against the Cubs over the weekend, losing yesterday's game 6-4. Cards now host the Brewers tonight, 6:45 first pitch. That, by the way, kicks off this rare 5-game series. And a stunning reversal from FIFA. Team USA's top goal scorer will be able to play in tonight's game against Belgium after getting a red card in the match against Bosnia. Kickoff for tonight's game, 7 o'clock. 73 degrees now coming up on 5 minutes after the hour. I'm Kim St. Ange for 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Good morning. We have had such a nice commute this morning. A lot of people taking this day off as well. There's some moderate volume on southbound 270 at Ladue Road and a little bit on northbound 55, especially headed for the Poplar Street Bridge. And that's about it. We look good other than that, and it's quiet on the Illinois side as well. So a nice commute this morning. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Honey, I found the one.
Oh, I thought I was the one.
Oh, you are, but this one's certified, background check, shows up on time, and can install all the ceiling fans.
Heating, cooling, electrical, and plumbing. Trusted pros who do it right.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
After some rock and roll weather over the weekend, we've got the northwest flow coming back for us on this Monday. Partly sunny skies. It's a little less humid, and it is cooler. 87 for the high. Then tonight, partly cloudy skies. 68 degrees. Tuesday, sunny and 89. Wednesday, sunny and 82. That's a nice little break. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
8:06 right now. We're at 73 degrees here downtown at the Arch. You can listen to the Marc Cox Morning Show or any of our other shows here on 97.1 FM Talk from anywhere or any time of the day on our free Odyssey app.
The Marc Cox Morning Show is brought to you by Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group, retirementkey.com.
Today,
the Cards, the Brewers.
Siteman Cancer Center game time 6:45.
Play ball.
Siteman Cancer Center, national leader in cancer.
This is the Marc Cox Morning Show.
And welcome back. I'm Ryan Recker. Thank you for guess, hanging out with us this morning. I always enjoy when I get a chance to do this. Kim, it's always fun filling in with you, too. And I don't think we've ever actually met in person, have we?
Mm-mm. I don't think we have either.
I don't think so. No, it's only through these little
interwebs
fill-in shows that I get to do. Ethan, I don't know. Ethan, have we met in person? I don't think we have either.
I don't think so. I think you left right as I got hired.
Right.
I think it was right
you make it sound like when I left, a.k.a. I got fired.
Well, I didn't know your situation, right?
Welcome back to it.
So you're really trying to figure out why he left.
Yeah.
I guess it was on good terms because, I got hired into the same company. I'm in Detroit now, and they still asked me to do the shows, which is great. But, I don't want to sugarcoat it. It wasn't like...
I thought maybe you made the decision to go back to Detroit or something.
Well, it worked out that way, and I'm glad it worked out that way. I got to be up here and help support my dad after my mom passed. So it's just the way things played out the way they did. So we have another hour here on the show, and I know we have Tom Ackerman coming in. Maybe we can ask him about the red card reversal suspension in World Cup. A lot of people feel like, ooh, that's setting up a big game for Team USA, who are the underdogs, definitely, even coming in with their star player. So that's going to be an interesting one tonight. Let me put it this way. I know most people here listening are thinking, I'm so glad we don't have to talk about Taylor Swift anymore. But here we are. So they had the wedding this weekend, and information is coming out about it. And they said they each exchanged 20-minute vows. How insane are 20-minute vows? Like when you were married, Kim, how long were your vows?
Oh, man. So we wrote our own, and I would say they were maybe, a few minutes each, I would say.
If that, right?
Yeah. I mean, they were, I do think that people who were like, oh, you have to have this like 10 or 15, max 20-minute ceremony, that's a little obnoxious. Like, come on, how you get married, hopefully once in your life, you should be able to have a ceremony that's a little bit longer, but 20 minutes each is a little long.
Right. All right, Ethan. What do you think? 20-minute vows. Does that seem high, low in your opinion when it comes to weddings?
That seems god awful.
Doesn't it? As a
Tell
someone
us how
that's
you really
invited,
feel, Ethan.
I hope they serve snacks at that place. Like I would
have
be
an
just
intermission.
be like, are you kidding?
Hot dogs. It was at Madison Square Garden, so it'd be fitting.
My brother had like a real Catholic wedding, and it took forever. So God knows how.
They're like an hour normally.
Yeah,
maybe
it
a little
seemed
over.
longer.
I don't.
Square Garden.
I don't know if there's truth to this, but supposedly, I'm not sure I really believe this, but supposedly Harrison Butker was the only player for the Chiefs who was not invited.
I heard that wasn't real.
It can't be real.
Yeah,
There's no way. I've even heard that Travis Kelce and Butker are on good terms. I feel like people were trying to stir the pot with that because they know Harrison said that really controversial thing about the college graduation ceremony for the Christian university, by the way.
Right, exactly. Well, 20-minute vows. So you're right about Madison Square Garden. They're probably walking up and down the aisle selling hot dogs. It's taking so long.
Like the tall boys.
The tall boys. Yeah, they're selling beer concession. Now, if you're a guest there and you're like, at some point, you're happy and you feel like, I can't believe I got invited to this. That means I must be something. I must be really good at what I do or really cool. At some point, do you think they questioned it like, boy, I can't believe we came to this? Do you think they lost their patience?
This was a mistake.
They don't have their phones to look at. Yeah, their phones were taken away.
Were they
so
really?
They have to pay attention.
Oh, I'm sure.
Well, yeah, no.
I heard that they had to sign
allowed.
an NDA. Supposedly they had to sign an NDA.
Mm-hmm. And so they do the whole wedding, and we're reading more things about it. And apparently, what was it? Adam Sandler officiated it.
So random.
Well, that shows you just how much power you have as the biggest pop star in the world. And then you have Paul McCartney performs I Want to Hold Your Hand for the first time in 60 years. And I almost felt bad for Paul McCartney. It seems like he was kind of forced to do that. If you're someone that's held out playing that and performing that song live for as long as you have, and all of a sudden Taylor Swift is the one that pulls it out for a wedding, you're a wedding singer, and that's when you perform it. It seems like you're cheapening the time to pull that out. You think there might be more appropriate times for you to replay that song, but it just seems like poor Paul gets roped into this and play the song.
They should have had Adam Sandler perform because he is the ultimate wedding singer. Hanukkah. Even though they're not Jewish, he could sing his
Grow Old With You with Drew Barrymore song. He pulls out the acoustic guitar while officiating.
It's a great movie, by the way, if you've not seen Wedding Singer.
It's been so long since I've seen Wedding Singer, though.
Great.
Is it worth it, though?
Oh, yeah.
So
that's funny.
They 20-minute each vows and
1,000 guests.
But 1,000 guests. That's a lot. Madison Square Garden, air conditioned, inconveniencing everyone else in the largest city.
Maybe I bet they kept it at 78. I think that they want, since a lot of them are probably, especially Taylor Swift and Travis, are big lefties. I'm sure that they wanted to adhere to what Zohran Mamdani had set in place. So they just had all their guests sweat while they were dancing, but they saved energy.
They had to, yeah, at Madison Square Garden.
Would you be offended if you came in and you were like seated in like the last row? You were like in the back.
You got nosebleed seats. So it's like,
I'd be like, how good of friends are we? I'm in the back.
Right. The tickets. So they gave you tickets like you would going to a Knicks game, and depending on your social status, you got nosebleed seats. Oh, that tells you right there.
I do want to see the setup because everyone talked about how Madison Square Garden had been so transformed and it was like some garden party. I don't know. I don't really care about Taylor. I think I think she's kind of overrated personally. But I really want to see how Madison Square Garden looked.
You start fights when you say things like Taylor Swift's overrated.
You're going to get us
fights.
I said what I said.
All right, let's do the short list.
The Marc Cox Short List, presented by Rhino Shield.
For me, as a Democrat, I'm insanely proud to be American. And, America has always been the good guy on the world stage.
Think about that. John Fetterman, someone that's part of the Democrat Party, is kind of pushed to the outside because that's looked at as controversial in the Democrat Party. Just let that sink in.
Ronald Reagan used to warn about communism. He talked about it, that it was a distant threat across the world, and now the barbarians are inside the gate.
And running New York City. I mean, who would have thought in all of your years, the largest city, New York City, would be run by someone that's an active socialist. And you think to yourself, okay, times they are a-changing.
By the grace of God, the United States of America is the most successful, most accomplished, most exceptional nation ever to exist in human history, and it is great to be your president.
Through the grace of God. I'm glad the recognition there. I think that's important to bring up on the 4th of July. The providence that goes into it and the founding of this country, all the things that would have to go right. There was the hand of God moving it.
So what I'd ask you to do, my fellow Americans, on our 250th birthday, is to reject the two-dimensional view of your fellow citizens, reject the view of your nation that sees only its sins, but not its grace and its greatness.
Yeah, it's so fascinating, and you're right about this. We talked about this, and Kim, you brought up the point with Hans von Spakovsky. When you go to the Hallmark section and you're looking for cards for your spouse and it says, you suck as a wife, or you suck as a husband. Like, what part of the card section is that in? It's not. And I think about it, too. When you think about the founding fathers, it'd be like, let's air out the grievances of what a terrible parent you were. And that's normally the people that come from very privileged situations are the ones that feel that way. It's the ones that, the ones that have the ability to probably still have bills paid by their parents into adulthood are the ones that normally yell and scream, that sort of thing. When they don't understand the amount of love and joy and that should be going into, honoring your parents, kind of the way biblically speaking, honor your father and mother.
Right.
They don't understand that. They never will do that sort of thing, are the ones that are kind of trashing this country too. They don't really understand that there's no such thing as, perfection when it comes to human beings. But if you only look at, I can't believe mom and dad didn't buy me that Nintendo when I was a kid. They're the worst parents ever. And you're kind
Happy
of
Father's
that
Day.
Happy Father's Day. You're a terrible dad for, ignoring me on, with the Nintendo.
10 years ago.
10 years ago. Yeah, you're still holding that grudge. But, you ignore all the things that made that family wonderful. So that's kind of the same thing that people are doing with this country. And, you know, those are the ones that J.D. Vance is like, ignore those guys. Forget about those. The grace and greatness of the country is what we should be looking at. And he is so right.
Agreed. No one is perfect, and we're all going to fall short and screw up. And man, you have to hope there's forgiveness. There is, because no country is perfect either. All these countries that people, I guess, think are better and want to move to, who are living in America here, by all means, you go and you live there and report back and let me know how that goes for you. See if you still feel like America is as terrible as you paint it out to be.
Yep. All right. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, have you seen the trailer for Christopher Nolan's new movie? It's getting a lot of complaints, and I think you'll know why. I'm Ryan Recker, filling in on 97.1 FM Talk.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
We have had such a nice commute this morning. It looks like people have taken yet another day off, and things look great on 55 down south this morning. But it's a little bit slow there, headed for the Poplar Street Bridge and just beyond. And other than that, we look good, too. 70 is in good shape. We're quiet through North County, and quiet on the Illinois side of the bridges in general. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Are your windows drafty, outdated, or hard to open? Choose Infinity from Marvin Windows. Crafted from durable fiberglass for superior energy efficiency, beauty, and performance. At Lakeside Renovation and Design, we specialize in custom-fit professional window installations that transform your home. Plus, with our lifetime workmanship warranty, you'll have peace of mind for years to come. Call Lakeside today or visit windowsbylakeside.com to schedule your free window consultation. Replace with confidence. Choose Infinity from Marvin.
Are you tired of feeling sick and tired? I'm Dr. Nick Barnes of Health from Within Family Chiropractic. Our simple 5-step approach aligns your health naturally. We correct spinal abnormalities to maximize nerve supply, focus on pure and simple nutrition, exercise and oxygen, mindset, and minimizing toxins in your body. Transform your health today with Health from Within, conveniently located on Manchester in Rock Hill, or online at healthfromwithinstl.com.
If you're considering an annuity as part of your retirement plan, we need to talk. Hi, I'm Bob Stockdale, Senior Vice President Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel, and host of On the Money, Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Annuities can be a useful tool for some retirement investors, but not all annuities are created equal. Every week, we meet clients who own complex annuities that don't suit their needs and, in some cases, actively undermine their retirement plan. Before you purchase an annuity, get a second opinion from the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel. Requesting a consultation is free of charge. To request a free consultation, contact us at clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com, or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member NYSE and SIPC.
The time now is 8:20, and this time check is brought to you by Paramount Men's Medical Center. Our YouTube live chat is going strong. Get in there, help out Dash and Chris. They could need a couple more people to talk to, and while you're there, make sure you subscribe and ring that bell.
You're listening to the Marc Cox Morning Show. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Ring that bell or stick your finger in that bell.
I mean, whatever gets us more followers.
Okay, go ahead, stick your finger in that bell. It sounds like, okay, what's he talking about? So I was mentioning over the weekend, we showed my son National Treasure, where Nicolas Cage says, I'm going to steal the Declaration of Independence. And it was a good way to introduce some of the founding father principles. And, you know, they go through a lot of historical spots in the movie, and it's kind of cool to see. So it's a nice jumping off point for some conversations. We watched that. It was, I thought, a good 4th of July movie as a family, and my dad was here at the house. We barbecued, we had steaks, enjoyed the nice big lunch. And my dad said, when I was a kid, you used to be able to stick your finger in the Liberty Bell. He said when he would go through Philadelphia in Independence Hall, they'd have the bell out there within arm's reach, and, you know, kids would go through and they'd stick their finger in the crack of the Liberty Bell. He said, you can't do that anymore. I'm like, all right. All right, old man. No, I didn't see that, but I bet you used to do that. Now, I almost feel like that's a life goal of mine to one day get the privilege to stick my finger in the Liberty Bell.
You keep dreaming big there, Ryan. Reach
I
for the
do
stars.
want to dream big. You think they would have a special accommodation? What would I have to do? Like, I would have to really buddy up with Donald Trump and say, I need a favor. Can you help me?
I'd really
like
like to stick my finger in the Liberty Bell.
There's nothing more I'd want to
I'm
do.
going to call
than
you.
stick
You
my
stay
finger in
here.
the
I'm
Liberty
going to
Bell.
call 911. Got some freak over here.
Yeah, no kidding. They wouldn't let me any close to it. He goes, oh, sure. He'd make the first call. Don't let him within 30 feet of that bell. So I've seen the Liberty Bell before. We used to travel to New Jersey when I was a kid. We had family out there, and part of it was, let's go over to Philadelphia and go to the museums and go history sightseeing. I wish I appreciated it better, which I didn't when I was a child.
Oh, yeah.
But I did see the bell when I was a kid. It was kind of.
I just wish I wish I paid attention more in school when they were teaching about history, because honestly, I didn't care back then. History was probably one of my least favorite subjects, and so I feel like I retained enough information to get through the class and, get an A or a B on my test, and then I'm like, all right, I don't need to remember that.
Yeah.
And it's not like I didn't think it was important, but I didn't care. And man, now if I could go through those classes, I would be soaking it all up.
It would be fun. And you know what? Your radar would be on high alert for anything woke when they try to rewrite some of the parts of history, right? You're like, you're not getting this past me, man. I'm listening. Don't give me any of this garbage revisionist stuff. But going back to it, I remember going through Philadelphia, and I was more excited to see the steps Rocky Balboa ran up at the museum than I was to see the Liberty Bell. The Rocky steps.
Man.
Are you kidding me? It's right there in the front of the museum. This is where Rocky ran up.
Yeah, I never
and
saw
of
those
course, movies. Oh, Kim, you're missing out. Rocky's fantastic. Watch them. They're really good. And even the one where it's called Balboa, the one they made like in the 2000s, maybe 2010s, it was really good too. All good ones. Old Rocky is very good. You're not going to watch it.
No,
You're not going to watch any of these.
Probably not.
No. You love America, right?
We'll see if we'll see if my husband can convince me. He got me to watch The Matrix, and I watched some other movie that was kind of dudeish.
Star Wars?
I didn't see all of it, but yes, I have seen parts of Star Wars, and it's not my thing.
Well, there's a movie coming out called The Odyssey, which is based on the classic tale.
Mm-hmm.
And have you seen people are absolutely rejecting this woke garbage? So the update from this morning, the Odyssey movie, the cast members are out promoting it. And as people are putting the trailer out, the last trailer before the movie comes out, it apparently has 490,000 dislikes on the video.
So what's the main issue people have?
It basically DEI. So I found this. Okay, I found an explanation of why people are having an issue with it. I'm going to read, and maybe you can tell me if you agree with this. And this is what would be called a rational explanation online. Now, keep in mind, there's not a lot of rational explanations, but I think they try to play it down the middle. It says the Odyssey is getting massively criticized due to blackwashing of a traditionally Greek character, whitewashing of a Greek myth, and no Greek actors in general dislike for the Hollywoodization of another classic story. It's probably not going to be as bad as it's made out to be because it's Christopher Nolan, but audiences are fatigued with seeing another modern retelling of tokenism of established characters for the sake of diversity, which has spurred the culture war with right-wing critics calling it BS and left-wing critics doubling down by jumping on its defense.
I'm just waiting to hear that Zeus is going to be played by some woman. Like all these characters, it's like we have to make sure that there's equal representation. So therefore, we're making the choice to have Zeus played by Ariana Grande.
Well, that's basically what they're doing, stuff like that. There was the one that's really getting a lot of criticism, and I forget her name. What was it? It's the Ellen Page.
Oh,
had
yeah.
Surgery.
Yeah.
So, let's have her play this strong Greek man or whatever it was. So people were as soon as she showed up inside of the trailers, and they're like, okay, you're playing this strong Greek dude? Okay, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Something's up here.
Paint on like a 6-pack or something like that? Like airbrush on an 8-pack?
But immediately when people saw that, they said, I'm out. Like, that's it. Christopher Nolan's cool and all, but I'm out.
That's like what was it? The Snow White, where people like it was just not even close to what you would expect, and it was flopping. And then you have the main actress who was playing Snow White talking about how the old one was so ridiculous, and it's like, do you realize what you're doing right now? You're probably in part of the reason why that tanked.
It is totally unnecessary for you to do these things. Now, if you feel like you have to do a modern retelling of it and we got to make a difference, so we're going to switch all the roles around, then tell a different story. Make your own story with your own roles, and don't have to try to take something that's already been established and loved throughout the years and say, well, I'm going to do my own take on it that's completely different from what everyone loves about it, and then I'm just going to make it as worse as I can. And, just make your own story at that point. And you can create whatever characters you want. You can have them do whatever you want. And that is the better solution than trying to, force your vision into something that wasn't the original vision.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's all you got to do.
Yep.
But they don't like originality anymore. They just try to go back and rehash things. Okay. Well, I know Tom Ackerman's coming up in the next segment. Probably a lot of sports action, but the World Cup, a lot of people are talking about how the red card from the star player that Kim is afraid to pronounce, that now for Team USA, they're going to have their star back tonight. It's 7 o'clock tonight in Seattle. They're taking on Belgium, I believe, round of 16. This is huge for Team USA, who is really surging and showing like the Rocky Balboa spirit. If they win today, if Team USA wins, Kim, will you watch Rocky Balboa to get you in the mood?
We'll see.
All right, you're listening to the Marc Cox Morning Show and Tom Ackerman next, 97.1 FM Talk.
I've been a homeowner for 33 years now, and I can tell you one thing. There's nothing like having a big project hanging over your head, and you're just not sure what it's going to take to fix it. And if you've owned a home, those things can happen to you. If your particular issue is a wet basement, I want you to call Matt Hayes. I think he's going to put you at ease. That's what I'm hearing from my friends and neighbors who've had Matt to their house to deal with a wet, leaky basement. In fact, one lady told me we invited Matt over. We already scheduled 2 other people to get competing bids, but we liked Matt so much, we canceled the other 2. You'll feel the same way. Call him at 314-271-9900. Home Shield Foundation Repairs has been around for 20 years. They take care of the problem, and then they give you a lifetime warranty, which I can't emphasize enough how important that is. Reach out to Matt today. Be sure and tell him that you heard about it from Marc Cox. Go online at HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com.
According to MasterCard, nearly half of small businesses have been a victim of a cyber attack. As cybercrime escalates, ThrottleNet is calling on businesses to strengthen their security posture by taking a free online IT security audit right from your desk. This 3-minute online assessment provides an immediate score to see security gaps and vulnerabilities in your network. For 26 years, ThrottleNet has supported your business IT everything right here in St. Louis. In fact, no client of ThrottleNet has ever paid a ransom. So visit ThrottleNet.com/971 to take the free assessment today.
Hey guys, are you dealing with low energy weight gain or issues in the bedroom? Game Day Men's Health is the premier men's health clinic in the St. Louis area with locations in Chesterfield and O'Fallon, Missouri. They specialize in low testosterone and sexual health, and they also help men and women with medical weight loss, vitamins, and peptides. They offer free consultations and testosterone tests with results in about 20 minutes. Get in, get answers, get back to the top of your game. Visit GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Again, that's GameDayMen'sHealth.com.
I'm Dom Savino with your Money Now. Futures are mostly higher as we head to the open on Wall Street, but the opening bell won't be rung in New York today. We'll do that instead from the White House. It's to mark the launch of so-called Trump accounts. That's the Trump administration's new investment accounts for children, which started on the 4th of July. Also today is the launch of a long-awaited tech listing. Welcome South Korea's SK Hynix, one of the world's largest chip makers, looking to cash in on the global AI boom. It wants to raise $28 billion in what would be the second largest share sale ever, trailing only last month's debut of SpaceX. SK Hynix will begin full trading Friday. Oil prices have dipped slightly this morning after the cartel of oil-producing countries and its allies agreed to boost output. OPEC Plus is responding to the gradual recovery of shipping traffic through the Strait of Hormuz. Gas prices also dipping this morning. That's your Money Now.
That'll be $84.52.
Perfect. Grab the bags, honey.
Mom, why do you always check your phone before we pay?
I'm just claiming my cash back on the Upside app. Since we're getting the groceries here and we filled up the car on the way, I've already earned enough this morning to pay for that pizza night we're having Friday.
Wait, so the app pays for pizza?
Not exactly, but the cash I earn on stuff we need helps us pay for the stuff we want. It's just a little win for our family every week.
Get more out of your everyday. Upside is the free app that gets you cash back on routine purchases like gas, groceries, and dining out at more than 100,000 locations nationwide. No points, no rebates, just cash back straight to your wallet. Download the free Upside app and use promo code ACT5 to get a $5 bonus on your first purchase. That's promo code ACT5 to get a $5 bonus. Remember, use promo code ACT5.
Offers vary by user and location at participating merchants. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
We have looked good on the roads this morning, and that continues to be the case. We are quiet really throughout the area. North County down into Jeffco. There's a little bit of a slowdown this morning, of course, eastbound Manchester at Baxter. But other than that, we really are in good shape, and that includes 55 through multiple construction zones. Downtown, it's a little bit slow on eastbound 44 underneath the Poplar Street Bridge and a little bit into the depressed section, but that's it. For the most part, we look good. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Sponsored by Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty 314-325-6888.
Need to sell your home and you want the most money? The name to remember is Gloria Lou. Yes, Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty at 314-325-6888 and start packing.
I'm Ultima Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Every time one of my children started driving, it was terrifying. Thousands of accidents happen across the country. We see it every day. If you've been injured in a car accident, call us.
Dial # law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, you're not alone. Most importantly, you don't have to live with it. Paramount Men's Medical Center restores men's sex lives in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, even when Viagra and Cialis don't work. Here's Dr. Simovitz, specialist in men's health.
Paramount Men's Medical Center's painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. 98% of patients see instant results right in the office.
Men are now lasting longer than they ever imagined. And the best part, at Paramount Men's Medical Center, your consultation and first treatment are free. Qualified patients even get their testosterone checked free. Call 314-887-4333. 314-887-4333. Take control of your sex life. Call now. 314-887-4333.
Hey, St. Louis, need to sell your home fast? The Gelman team with eXp Realty can make you an instant cash offer in just 24 hours. No showings, no repairs, no waiting, no drama. Visit thegelmanteam.com to see what your home could sell for fast. Or give the Gelman team a call at 314-336-1991.
This is Tom Ackerman for Ophthalmology Associates. You know, the doctors, or just the best doctors to see for your best vision in St. Louis. 314-966-5000. The doctors. They've treated more than 250 doctors. That's more than any other practice. Dr. Greg Birdie, Dr. Ranjan Malhotra, Dr. Robert Bersati, Dr. Andy Royer. 314-966-5000 is their phone number. 314-966-5000. Dr. Birdie, Dr. Malhotra are cornea surgeons and experts in diagnosis and treatment of diseases of the eye, dry eye, allergy eye, cataracts, macular degeneration, glaucoma, LASIK surgery. The Doctors of Ophthalmology Associates, experts. Call for an appointment today, 314-966-5000, or visit them online, youridoc.com, 12990 Manchester Road, quarter mile west of 270. 314-966-5000 or youridoc.com.
Happy birthday, America, in 2026. Get used to hearing the word semi-quincentennial. America 250 on 97.1 FM Talk. Sponsored by Paramount Men's Medical Center.
The great sportsman like Tom Ackerman. Baseball's really not a hard sport.
It is Anchorman, not Anchor Lady.
It's like powered by coffee this morning.
Sports, sponsored by McDonald's, reminding you to round up your total for Ronald McDonald House Charities on your next order.
Tom Ackerman. Good morning, sir.
Morning, buddy. How you doing?
Good. I saw the statistic that the U.S.'s game against Bosnia Wednesday night was the most watched soccer telecast in English language history at peak audience 31.8 million. U.S. men's soccer team, they're going to be playing again tonight facing Belgium, 7 p.m. Central, round of 16, and they're getting their star player back, it looks like. So this is going to be an exciting one.
Yeah, Flo Balogun's back, and the U.S. is playing great, and it should be a good one. Belgium's good. Belgium has a great goalkeeper. Belgium's there for a reason. It'll be a good match, I think. Last night was epic. I just could not believe what I saw last night between England and Mexico.
I watched part of that.
It was so good. I mean, that stadium is just a terror for anybody who tries to play there. Mexico does not lose in the World Cup there, and England played great, found a way to win it 3-2. Mexico played great, tough, but England with a player down to do what they did was pretty special. And then I thought England was very classy at the end, the way they talked about how hard Mexico played, and I thought they carried themselves extremely well. And I think they'll be a great challenge for Norway and vice versa. I think Norway's really good. I mean, they beat Brazil yesterday, and they're there for a reason as well. I think it's going to be awesome. I really have enjoyed this World Cup, and I think it is, according to my friends who have watched all of these extensively, I watch them, but I think with the time change in some of the past World Cups, you don't get to watch all of them. We just can't do that. This is right here in our prime time, so you're watching games at 7 p.m., and it's just awesome.
Yeah, I heard England's match was airing at 2 a.m. their time.
Yeah, and of course they're all watching it, but my friends who have been watching all of these World Cups say this is the best one. And they're not just saying it because it's on U.S. soil.
How so, you think?
Just the drama of it, the intensity of it, the great teams from top to bottom. Nobody really knows who's going to win. I think most people pick France, but you just never know. I mean, I think it's just been awesome. Last night especially was just an incredible match, and to see England go in with that sort of challenge and win was pretty special stuff. So, I've enjoyed it.
2 goals in what, like a minute and a half?
Yeah.
It was nuts.
It was 2 goals quickly,
Yeah.
And then back came Mexico to make it 2-1 at half, and then playing a man down, England went up 3-1 on a Harry Kane penalty. Mexico answered pretty quickly with their own penalty kick, and it was 3-2, and then they just a barrage of shots and opportunities, but they could not crack England's defense, and that was that. That's the end of that.
Yeah.
So on they go, and I love the drama of any tournament, any sport, where you win, you move on, you lose, your season or your opportunity is over. That's what happened.
Yeah. What might help here, too, is with the games being on this side of the world, when they're in other areas and yet they're like, okay, the game starts at 4 a.m., you lose a little bit of the fandom there trying to watch it on a replay. So you get it in prime time. People are like watching it. Team USA is still in it, so people are excited about that. How do you feel about tonight's game? Do you think they have a chance, Team USA?
Well, like I was saying, I think Belgium presents a great challenge to them, and I think it will be hard to win. But I think this U.S. team, the way that they've played, as creative as they play and as athletic as they are, they look like they're a team that's going to be very difficult to stop. And especially with Balogun back, it gives them an extra forward who can score. So, I think it'll be a fun watch tonight and a must-watch, really, for any sports fan. This has been, they're starting to creep into uncharted territory here. Getting into the quarterfinals would be pretty cool.
So this whole red card situation, I feel like a lot of people, and I don't remember, I actually missed the moment that it happened. I was watching that game with Bosnia, but I missed it. But there has to be intentionality behind whatever is done in order to get a red card. And I think that's the argument, right? Because, Ryan, you were saying that Belgium's trying to appeal this whole decision from FIFA. But, I mean, is there really, I can't imagine they would go back on it again.
Well, yes, I agree with you. The controversy here is that the president got involved, and this is it's interesting because the red card I don't think was justified, but the letter of the law does say it doesn't have to be intentional. It doesn't have to be.
So what does it have to be?
It has to be dangerous, and the officials found that it was dangerous. I don't agree with the call at all. And I don't think that in real time, I think if you go back and watch the video, you're like, oh, his ankle turned awkwardly, so we're going to call a red card. That's the wrong decision. but you can be protected by the rule if you want to be, and that's where FIFA was. And then the president steps in and changes this. The most shocking thing to me is that the president was the one who broke the news. I thought for sure he'd be the one to be like, hey, everybody, I just want to let you know that FIFA is going to have an announcement that I did.
Yeah.
I am the one that, I'm shocked. I really am. But it is what it is. I'm happy that Balogun is playing. I just don't love the way that goes down, only because, and this isn't against Donald Trump specifically, I just think overall, like the president of the United States, probably not his place to get involved in it, because it's the world's game. So that you're kind of crossing a line. You're opening up this thing now where anybody who gets a red card, is their president going to, make a phone call to FIFA? Like, it's not our game. It's not the United States game. I know we didn't like the call, but now you're opening up this whole thing where everybody should be fairly judged, and other players had to serve a suspension. So they're like, "What? I got a red card. Why did I have to serve a suspension then?" Well, because it was a bad call. Well, I thought it was a bad call too. Well, my president didn't call FIFA. So it's just it crosses a line that I don't care to see. Now, this isn't like Eric Schmidt wanting to change college sports. It's different. This is, that's our sport. This is a global sport.
Yep. All right. I want to ask you about this for the sake of time. On Friday night, you have the Cardinals in Chicago whipping on the Cubs. Now, do you love games where the Cardinals absolutely blew out the Cubs? I love seeing when the Cardinals win, and I love seeing when they beat the Cubs. Do you like 17-1 wins?
Ryan Recker, let me tell you, that there is nothing better for a Cardinals fan in the regular season than blowing out the Cubs at Wrigley Field. It doesn't get any better than that. It does not get any better than what you saw on Friday and Saturday. And I thought even yesterday, I'll get to yesterday in just a second. I don't want to take too much of your time, but I loved this whole road trip for the Cardinals. I remember coming in here and talking to you guys about how I was excited about the challenge that they had with the Braves. Now they can go in and try to win a series against the Braves, and they did that, and I thought that was very impressive. But going to Wrigley and winning is another level. I hope people understand that these guys get paid millions of dollars, and we do not feel sorry for baseball players. They get paid millions a day, travel in these, private chartered flights with the beautiful hotels, and they get meals, and everything's great at the big league level. But they got to Chicago at 2 a.m. is when they landed on Friday, and they probably hit the pillow at 3, got up not long after that because they have to get to the ballpark to play a day game against the Cubs at Wrigley Field. The Cubs had a full day off. Cubs didn't do anything on Thursday. What the heck were they doing? The Cubs, that is embarrassing if you're the Cubs.
17-1.
The Cardinals came in there with no rest. They just came up on this road trip from Atlanta, and they embarrassed the Cubs. 17-1, and it was 3-0 the day after. That might be even worse. You just got it handed to you. You're the Cubs. How do you not get up on Saturday and come together and say, we're going to stick it right back to the Cardinals? And then you get beat 3-0. So now the score is 20-1. And you go in Sunday, and I actually thought the Cardinals fought them pretty well yesterday. I fully expected the Cubs to blow out the Cardinals yesterday, especially after Libby gave up 2 early runs. I'm like, here we go. This is going to be ugly. But it wasn't. It was 2-0 Cubs. The Cardinals came back with a 3-run homer by Jordan Walker, his 20th of the year, All-Star, Jordan Walker. And it's 3-2. The Cardinals kind of fumbled around with the ball in the bottom of the 6th, gave it back to Chicago. They went up 6-3. They never scored after that. Cardinals still had a shot to win that game in the 9th, and they lost 6-4. I thought it was actually a pretty decent effort by the Cardinals yesterday, even though they lost the ball game. So they win both series. Good road trip for them, really good. And they hold on to a playoff spot at the moment, and they have not 3, not 4, 5 games against the Brewers at home this week because of a doubleheader tomorrow. So this is a huge series for them if they want to get into the division race. They have a shot at that.
All right. Tom Ackerman, KMOX Sports Director. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Guys, always a pleasure. Have a great week.
See you,
Have
Tom.
a great week as well. All right. We have one more segment coming up on the Marc Cox Morning Show. I'm Ryan Recker, filling in on 97.1 FM Talk.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
We look good on the roads this morning. We've had light traffic. There's a little bit of volume on northbound 270 at the Clayton Road overpass. 55, though, is in great shape. We look good in North County. We had a little bit of a slowdown eastbound 70 at 141, but we're quiet on the Illinois side in general and on the bridges downtown. So pretty good. This report brought to you by i3 Broadband. With the kids home for summer, your house is a digital zoo of streaming and gaming. So switch to i3 Broadband and upgrade your summer. Head over to i3broadband.com/radio today or call 1-866-806-5485 to upgrade, because life runs better on fiber, and i3 Broadband is here for you. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Hey, it's Scott Jennings, and what does America mean to me here on our 250th birthday? The future of Western civilization. The future of human liberty. That is what is at stake in our world right now.
America 250 is sponsored by Paramount Men's Medical Center.
Imagine having a home project that you could take care of once and then not worry about it for, a quarter of a century. That's Rhino Shield. When you hear me talk about it on the radio, I can tell you as a satisfied customer, that's what it was like for me. I had them put it on once 18 years ago, and then when I sold my house, there was still time left on the 25-year warranty for the next owner. You can get the same thing right now. You can get it done this summer. In fact, they're accepting jobs, and they'll be happy to come out and give you a free evaluation. Listen, it goes on like paint, but it's so much better. 10 times thicker than regular paint, completely waterproof, rejects the sun's rays, holds its color. It's beautifully durable for that reason, and it's lab tested, and maybe you've seen it on HGTV. Darren will be happy to come and give you a free evaluation. Call him at 877-25-RHINO. Tell him Mark sent you, or go to 877-25rhino.com.
Hi, I'm Bob Kershaw with Retirement Advisory Group.
Hi, I'm Tammy Kershaw. When we meet our clients for the first time, they have built up a lifetime of savings. Their question is, what can we do with this money so we can live comfortably the rest of our lives? First, we develop a strategy to protect your nest egg from any market losses. Then we build your own personalized structured income plan that will generate you an income the rest of your life. We put you in control of your money.
You've earned it, and it's our job to make sure you enjoy it. Let our team show you how you can have the retirement of your dreams. Call us now at 314-993-9494 for a no-cost, no-obligation retirement review. You will also get a copy of our latest edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. We've been helping retirees and pre-retirees retire with confidence for 40 years. Call us now at 314-993-9494 or go online at retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
Want to make the most of your tax refund? File with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They help you get your biggest refund, and then we help you do more with it with a personalized plan designed to help you hit your money goals. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
You're listening to the Marc Cox Morning Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Welcome back. I'm Ryan Recker, and got a couple more minutes here before we say goodbye. From what I understand, Marc Cox is back tomorrow. Is that right, Kim?
He is back. Yep.
All right. That'll be a lot of fun. I'm sure he's got a lot to say after a nice long holiday weekend. I wonder if he picked up any new bones or teeth or something like that.
Whenever Mark is gone, the joke is that something big happens. And actually, nothing really that big happened, but I know he'll probably be itching to get back on the air and talk about all the things that happened over the weekend.
Yeah, celebrating the 4th of July in his own way, I'm sure will be a big thing. Something big could happen today, and it'll be timely for tomorrow. You never know. I didn't realize that they're going to be ringing in the Wall Street bell at the White House today. That's kind of cool.
Oh, I didn't see that either.
I think I heard Dom mention that with the business report at the bottom of the hour there. So it's to commemorate the Trump accounts for the kids. You know, once you're born, you get a special Trump account.
$1,000, yeah.
That's pretty cool. That's a smart thing to do. I know some places that have done that before. Different states have implemented that. It's kind of been a trendy thing, but I'm happy that they're doing it. It's a smart thing. I haven't been that smart. I should have started a 529 plan for the kids earlier. Do you have one of those 529 plans, Kim?
I don't think we do. I'll be honest, my husband handles a lot of that stuff. I know we're going to take advantage of this Trump account thing, but I know there's a lot of conservatives who are not thrilled about it, and they say that it sounds like something that Democrats would be doing. That it's kind of this government handout and that we shouldn't be. And obviously it's not. There's a big donation that's funding the initial part of this, but they will have to tap into some of the taxpayer funds, is my understanding of it. So that's the argument that I've heard. And I could kind of see it both ways. So obviously, because I benefit from it, yeah, that does help. It is great. But I also see the other side of it, too.
Yeah. Do you see the photos of Paul Pelosi, Nancy Pelosi's husband, was allegedly involved in a hit and run?
Yes, and
why
it's
would you do that?
Not even the first time. And what's interesting about that whole thing is it happened in Napa, and he hits the car, does a lot of damage, and then takes off. And my first thought was, okay, he was maybe drinking and thought, okay, I'd rather just be charged with the hit and run because there was no one hurt rather than a DWI. But then I read some article, parked car. Some article said that there was no alcohol. That is, they had his BAC and it was 0.
Got it. Well, I'm going to cast out because, well, one, the Pelosi name's attached to it. But two, he just thought that sticking around would be a bad idea? Like, why else would you flee a scene for something like that? You think that maybe you could get Nancy to pick up the phone to someone high up in California and get that taken care of? Or is there a chance he just didn't realize it? His age, he's just too old?
Maybe Biden would do that. But how can you possibly hit a car to the point where there's extensive, I heard major damage is the way I heard it described. How do you hit a car
86.
like that? And you're like, he's like, I didn't realize what I hit. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, that's a problem in and of itself.
I'm looking at the picture of it. He got the back end of this car pretty good. I mean, definitely needs a lot of body work. I don't think he bent the frame on this car or anything like that, if I had to guess, just by looking at it. So, I mean, he just could be old and shouldn't be driving, and maybe he thought that they would take the license away. Could be something like that. But 86, and that happens to you, you cut that license in half, like right in front of the person, I think.
It's time to stop driving.
In Missouri, if you flee an accident like that, that's a felony.
Well, and that's what's surprising, too, is that this is a misdemeanor, and they're saying that that's pretty standard, but really, is it?
California standard.
Oh, yeah, really. You murder someone, it's a misdemeanor.
You could probably be high and do it and still a misdemeanor. No big deal. Drunk, possibly. Oh. If you're on fentanyl, they would probably
they'd give you a new
money.
They'd probably give you a new needle to make sure that you're at least shooting up whatever drugs you're taking in cleanly. We're actually doing that.
They would pay for the repairs for you if you were on fentanyl.
out of a taxpayer-funded account.
Yeah,
they can't afford to pay for the damages, so therefore you taxpayers, you rich white people need to fund it for them.
Yeah. It looks like it was kind of hard to be a YouTuber if you're close to the World Cup. The FBI sees more than 600 drones flying over World Cup games in U.S. cities. One, YouTubers are stupid enough to think, I'm going to get that camera angle. I'm going to stick a camera up on my drone and fly it up there and take some pictures of the World Cup, and I'll get 1 million views on social media. Of course, the FBI stepped in and said, we're not doing drones over World Cup sites, you idiots. So they have seized more than 600 flying drones over these cups in U.S. games.
So why do they do that, by the way? If you're seizing a drone, do you put a drone up yourself and you kind of chase? Like, how did you get the drone to land if you have no idea where the person is flying it from? Or maybe you do.
From what I understand, they jam the signal, and then these drones are programmed to just drop if they lose signal. They just go down for safety's sake. So they jam the signal, they drop down, and then they just collect the thing.
They drop on someone's head.
They could. I think that's like Ghostbusters. You ever tell me, Kim, you've seen Ghostbusters?
No, I've not.
Oh, Kim, please. Oh, please. Kim. But
I'm
on
going
Ghostbusters,
to continue to disappoint you with movies.
Yep, they have their proton packs, and they're just trying not to cross the streams while they're getting the ghost up in the air. They're getting their stream on there. So they finally hook the ghost, and they bring it down, and there's a trap that collects the ghost, sucks it in. I think the FBI uses a technique like Ghostbusters in order to grab these drones. That's what happens.
You nailed that there.
Kim, please. If, let's say, for some reason I was managing 97.1, I would force you off the air with pay to watch these movies.
I'm not opposed to that. I'm not opposed.
Kim and Ethan, so fun working with you.
You too.
Have a great rest of your week. I'm Ryan Recker, filling in for Marc Cox, 97.1 FM Talk.